You know, every week it seems I come on here and say what a great time it is to be a sports fan, especially if you're a fan of the New York teams. Well, this may be one of the most exciting weeks we have seen in a long, long time. We're going to talk all about it and especially about the NFL draft. Guys, it's Wednesday night, it's 10 p.m., and we are live. And welcome everybody to New York Sports WickerMedia. I'm Wa2K99. Thank you as always for taking the time to join me for the Wednesday night live extravaganza. And you know what? The background, you might be saying, hey, Wa2K99, background looks a little bit different. Yeah, well, for those, I think I've mentioned this a time or two, I am currently in the process of moving. I am actually moving out of state. I am moving down to Raleigh, North Carolina, so the banners are packed up, but I am sitting in the wicker chair right now. So it's just we got a little more light behind it right now. All right, so probably for the next little while, I'll be using a virtual background. But we are here for the Wednesday Night Live show. I don't plan on missing anytime soon. And I am excited to get into all of this. So first, before we get into the NFL draft, guys, it is draft eve. Can you believe it? After all the hype, all the talk, all the speculations, all the mocks, we are just 22 hours away from Roger Goodell getting booed. I can't wait. All right, before we get into all of that, let's talk about what's on my mind with a little bit of what we like to call three and out. So first, the NHL playoffs. Let's talk a little bit about the Rangers and the Islanders. I got to start with the Islanders because, oh my gosh, what is with this team? You know, the Islanders have a 3-0 lead against Carolina, 7 minutes to go in the second period, and things are looking pretty good. But all of a sudden, Teravainen scores on the power play through Carolina, and now they trim the lead to 3-1. Halfway through the third period, it's still 3-1, but the Islanders are just playing so far back, just so focused on defense, not generating any kind of scoring opportunity, not trying to put the game away. And when Seth Jarvis scored to make it 3-2, I knew they were in trouble. Because all year long, if you've been with me, especially on the three and out segments, we've talked about the Islanders' propensity for blowing leads, and it came back to haunt them at the worst time. With just over 2 minutes to go, Carolina scores both the tying goal and game-winning goal 9 seconds apart. They add the empty net, and it's a 5-3 Carolina victory. They go up 2-0 in the series. The shot attempts are just scary. Okay, the shots on goal are bad enough. Carolina had 39 shots on goal to the Islanders 12, but if you look at shot attempts, just shot attempts, the Islanders had 28 for the game. The Hurricanes had 110. 4 times as many shot attempts. Unbelievable. Islanders with just 1 shot on goal in the third period. It's a good thing for them they have the 2 days off because they're going to need it before Thursday's game at UBS Arena. But this is where you're going to find out. Is Patrick Waugh a big-time NHL coach? Can he rally his troops against an excellent Carolina team? If the Islanders are going to have a prayer in the series, they got to win these next 2 games. They are not going to win 3 straight against the Hurricanes. And I'll tell you what, I hope they win games 3 and 4. I want to see them make this a series. That's right, I really do. As far as the Rangers go, well, game 3 is Friday night in D.C. This is actually, I thought this was pretty crazy. This is the 4th straight series the Rangers have led 2-0 after 2 games. Of course, they lost 2 of those series, but that's another story. And the Rangers, to me, have not even played their best hockey yet. You know, killing off that final minute, the final 2 minutes against the Capitals in Game 2 was crazy. I felt the Rangers should have buried that team, but the Rangers couldn't even get a change. The same skaters were on the ice the last 2+ minutes. That's just not acceptable. But there are a lot of bright spots. Keandre Miller and Brain Schneider, a pairing that Peter Laviolette put together kind of late in the season, is really, really clicking. It's a young pairing, and it's working very, very well. Mika Zibanejad, who's been under a lot of criticism from the Rangers fan base, had one of his best games all season. And now you have 2 days off. The Rangers will go to D.C., where they have not won a game all year. You know, Washington turned up the physical aspect. They know they're not going to outskill the Rangers. They got to get in their heads and play physical with them. That is the only way Washington wins this series. They're going to try to do it even more at Capital One Arena. So Rangers got to be ready to withstand a heavy early charge from the Capitals. They got to withstand that and take the game over. All right, just a quick couple of hellos before we resume. Jets Mess channel member, the first one here. Always the first one to come and seemingly the last one to leave. Good to see you. We've got Hank GM. He's ready for Wednesday night. I'm ready too. GVH, good to see you, my friend. And we got Harlan Abraham here as well. I know we got some more people in the chat as well. If you'd like to leave a comment, you're more than welcome to. But if you'd like to just stay in the background, it's totally fine. You're more than welcome here. All right, on to the NBA, the Knicks and the Sixers. Can the Sixers stop complaining? You know, it's one thing about the fans. You know, the fans are always going to complain about officials. If you're, you know, no matter what team you root for, you have times when you can complain about the officials. It's an easy thing to do. But for Nick Nurse, the Sixers coach, for the players like Joel Embiid to still be whining about the referees is just weak. To me, what Philadelphia is showing, they may be a more talented team than the Knicks, maybe, but they are showing to me a lack of resilience, a lack of mental toughness. You know, the Knicks have not been playing their best either. Jalen Brunson has really been held in check by Philadelphia. I got to give them a lot of credit. But the Knicks are the deeper team. They are the tougher team. And that is something we have been learning watching these first two games. And, you know, I'm not really that worried about Jalen. I felt this was a very, very difficult matchup going in. I said on my series preview, Philadelphia had the athletes to defend him. That's what we're seeing. And if the Knicks do win the series and go on to play either Milwaukee or Indiana, I expect a much better Jalen Brunson. And so, hey, Philly could be the more top-heavy player. You know, Tyrese Maxey, he's a heck of a player. He won the most improved player in the NBA this year for a good reason. But the Knicks are deeper, and they are tougher, and I think better coached. So you know what? Go to Philly, win one of two, and come back to the Garden and take that series in 5. All right, and I'm actually, with my third topic, I'm going to get into one other thing that I don't think anybody would have expected, but I think it deserves a little bit of respect, a little bit of attention. I'm just going to spend about 2 minutes tops talk about golf. I really, really am. Scotty Scheffler won the RBC Heritage Tournament on Monday. He is the first golfer to win the next tournament after also winning the Masters since Bernard Langer in 1985. He is the best golfer in the world as far as men go, because Nelly Korda on the women's tour has won 5 straight tournaments. That is crazy. Only Nancy Lopez and Annika Sorenstam have ever done that. She won the Chevron Championship by 2 shots last Sunday, but I felt Nelly Korda deserved a little bit of attention and a little bit of respect. Okay, enough of that. Let's get rid of the 3 and out. And now, you see everything right down there. You see my name. You see it in blue. But I think we're now going to flip over to the main event, and we are going to change the mood. We're going to change it from blue to green. So, guys, you know what's coming up. So I'm ready to hear you. I want to hear you all the way from New York, New Jersey, Florida, Australia, wherever the heck, Arkansas, California, wherever you may be from. So say it proud, say it loud, and let it go! That's what I'm talking about, ladies and gentlemen. All right, so we're going to get into the draft in just a minute or so here. But I wanted to spend a minute and talk about Flight 24. The first episode dropped last night. And I got to tell you, I was actually shocked how little Aaron Rodgers was on this show. Basically, you heard his voice and you barely saw him for more than a minute. But I thought, so they started off with the opening night intros, you know, with the players running out on the flags, and then a clip over, basically a voiceover of Aaron Rodgers talking about how difficult it was to get hurt after 4 snaps. And then they cut over to the Senior Bowl in Mobile, Alabama, where Jeff Ulbrich, our defensive coordinator, was one of the head coaches. And you saw him sort of like in the locker room. Now, I can't say that, put it this way, last year I like to see more of Ron Middleton, what he was saying. But we got basically a whole pregame speech from Jeff Ulbrich talking about heart, mind, and fist. And he had some interesting quotes when he was on the field in particular, saying, I got to stay away from the defense because he's so gravitated towards these defensive players, right? But in that case, yeah, I thought that was pretty cool of him to say that he's got to take a more overall approach, something that a few Jets coaches have not remembered to do. But he did have one quote that was interesting that's got a lot of people talking, where he said on the sideline, "This kid needs to be a Jet." We don't know who he was talking about. There's been quite a bit of speculation about who it could have been. I think one day we might find out who it was, but it's very, very, they give us a little bit of an Easter egg there. Then we go over to the combine and we watch a couple of the interviews, mostly wide receiver and offensive lineman. And I thought one thing was interesting with the offensive lineman. They pretty much looked at all the tackles. Joe Alt, Talise Fuaga, Olu Fashanu. They really focused on the tackles, but they snuck in one guard. And it was Zach Zinter from Michigan, who's projected to go around the 4th or 5th round of this year's draft. The fact that was the only interior offensive lineman that they put in, I thought was very, very interesting. So watch out for that as the weekend progresses. I'm just saying. All right, then we went on to free agency. Morgan Moses coming over in the trade from Baltimore, talking about unfinished business with the Jets. Yes, I wholeheartedly agree. And I got to say, did you see when Morgan Moses went into Joe Douglas's office? And Joe Douglas has the biggest grin on his face. Guys, find you a friend who looks at you the way JD looks at Morgan Moses. That's all I can say. Find that. Find that because, oh my God, that was, whoo, yeah. John Simpson came in. John Simpson seems like a really super engaging guy. You see it on social media. He's really willing to communicate. Very articulate. Doesn't give just like canned answers, but he's got a pretty good mind inside his head. The interviews, I like him. I mean, he's got some inflection in his voice. He seems to be really engaged when he does this. He doesn't just do it because he's supposed to do it. So I do like that. They brought in Tyrod Taylor. You saw him for a moment. Leaky Fotu, the new defensive tackle, who's got that Troy Polamalu hair going on. Did you see this guy's hair? Oh my God, he plays well. He might get a Head & Shoulders commercial himself. But I guess he went into Supercuts and said, give me the Polamalu. That's all I can get out of it. Javon Kinlaw, defensive tackle from the Niners. And when they let him interview, he mentioned not only Robert Saleh, but he also mentioned Aaron Whitecotton, the Jets' defensive line coach. Thought that was really interesting. Early prediction I'll make, if Jeff Ulbrich leaves after this year or the next year, Aaron Whitecotton should absolutely be the next defensive coordinator. Because, man, he's got respect from his players. And then in comes Tyron Smith. He's walking into one Jets drive like he's freaking Michael Clemens. He's got that BMF walk going on, right? The slow motion. You got the music in the background. And Woody Johnson's there. And he says to him, we got to keep Aaron Rodgers in good shape. And in this deep bass, Barry White voice, Tyron Smith says to him, it ain't a problem. Oh, I got goosebumps. That was great. We need a side-by-side as the preseason goes on. Tyron Smith, Michael Clemens walking in together, shirtless to the slow music with a little bit of swagger behind it. Maybe Tyron will bring the barbed wire baseball bat. I don't know. But, man, oh, man, let the two of them go at each other head-to-head on the field. Please let me see that. Yep. Oh, yeah, defensive players will most definitely be needed. And we're definitely going to draft a few defensive players. Don't worry about that. And then we get to Mike Williams. It's very easy to forget that Mike Williams had several visits planned after the Jets. He was supposed to go to Carolina, one or two other teams, but he never really left the Jets, And they cut over to Morristown Diner, the preparing of a TEC sandwich. They mentioned NYJ Matt on Twitter, of course, and then we see the video that a lot of us had already seen of Mike Williams taking a bite of the sandwich and saying, this is what got the deal signed right here. And I'm sure Brian Costello of the New York Post loved hearing that line. Just saying. But Mike Williams, to me, is just such a good fit. Makes big plays down the field, which the Jets did not have last year. Man, I hope he stays past this year. I know he's got to prove his health, but I hope he winds up playing with the Jets for another 2 to 3 years. I really do. And then we go over to the owners' meeting. Little glimpse there. Joe Douglas gets interviewed. The Jadeveon Clowney didn't work out, goes back home to the Carolinas. All good. And JD says if there's an opportunity to add to this team, we're going to be ready to add to it. And then it's Hassan Reddick. We get him coming in. The trade happens, and he sits down, talks with them for a little bit, and that basically is the end of the show. It gives you a little question mark. Who are the Jets going to select? What direction are they going to go? Well, we're going to find out in just a short couple of days. Hank G, I absolutely agree. I thought Woody did look quite a bit older. Yeah, I thought he did have a few extra years on. It was one of the rare times though we didn't see him in a Jets cap and and a suit. He was dressed a little bit differently than how he normally is. Maybe the hat takes away 10 years. I don't know. But all right, so that was kind of a recap of episode 1. And then to some news of the week, I want to spend a minute here on Zach Wilson. Obviously traded to Denver with their just beautiful new uniforms. Ay. What is with those stripes they've got? Those shoulder stripes that are like a semicircle? I mean, I don't know what the Broncos were thinking there. But they're bringing back their throwbacks with the D on the helmet. To me, that's what they should be sticking with. I'm not always of the belief that the older jersey is always better. But in this case, the Niners, the Broncos uniforms, they're going downhill. What can I say? The great Johnny Jimenez, my fellow Virginia Jets fan. Good to see you, my man. Remember, draft party, Thursday, AJ Gator specials on wings and shrimp. I expect to see you there, my friend. Yep. Good to see you, man. I'm glad you're here. All right, so as far as Zach goes, so the trade was the Jets give Denver pick 256, and Zach and the Jets get 203 in return. So 7th rounder for a 6th rounder. They moved up 53 spots in the draft. Now Denver has the all-time quarterback room of Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and don't call me Dominic DiNucci. Okay? If I'm calling out an old wrestling reference. People talked about, guys like Jake Asman, Matt O'Leary, guys like that, and they were probably right. Said the Jets had the worst quarterback room in the league last year once Aaron Rodgers went down. This may be the worst quarterback room in the history of the NFL right now. If the Broncos don't go quarterback with their first-round pick, what are they doing? What are they doing? We've got the great Curly Norman here, my nemesis in trivia. Norman, I'm watching you, man. We'll begin to the trivia a little bit later on tonight, and I'm counting on you to come through for the rest of the chat. All right. But I felt all along that Zach would be traded. I didn't think it would happen until a little bit later down the road, but I did figure you'd have that 7 player for a 6 because Joe Douglas has done that quite a few times in the past. But both sides needed this. The Broncos needed a little bit more talent in their quarterback room for whatever you want to say about how Zach performs. He goes back home. He doesn't have to be the man. And also the teams are splitting the $5.5 million. So the Jets saved $2.75 million. And the Jets moved up the 53 spots in the draft. So it's over. The Zach Wilson era, ERROR, is over. Let's turn the page. And hopefully the Jets draft a developmental quarterback at some point this weekend. Harlan Abraham, Dominic DiNucci wasn't that good to begin with. No, he wasn't, but he was a jobber, but he trained some good ones. Mick Foley, Shane Douglas, he trained some good ones. That's his bigger contribution. Yes, and the Mets stopped their 3-game losing streak. They're on a roll. Oh boy. Yeah, it was very good that they won that game. The great Elon here, causing a ruckus everywhere he goes. Good luck. I said this earlier, but in case you weren't here earlier, Elon, I will say this. Good luck to your Islanders, games 3 and 4. Remember, I'm moving 5 minutes away from the PNC Arena in Raleigh in about 2 weeks. I'm going to be living there, man. It is going to be nuts. Oh, my gosh. All right, so here's what we're going to do. I've got a couple of different things we're going to go through tonight. We'll see if anybody winds up joining the show. I put an open invite out to a few different people. We'll see. It's late at night. I know a lot of people are doing their own thing tonight with the draft coming up tomorrow. But the first thing we're going to do is we've gone through a whole lot of players together, right? We've learned about a lot of players who we might like, who we might not like, the pros, the cons, the projections, the stats, all of that. So what does it all really mean? Well, the first thing we're going to do tonight is rank the positions from the worst position in this draft to the best position. The most depth to the least depth. All right, the least depth to the most depth, really. Elon is done with the Islanders. If they don't win the next 2 games, they will be. Yeah, fire Lou Lamoriello. Ooh. Hey, Glenn Sather might still be available. You never know. All right, so let's do this. We're going to pull up the all the 24 positions, the 11 positions in the NFL draft. I'm ranking them from the worst to the best, starting with position number 11. And to me, it is linebacker. Not a very standout position here. Now, what I've got is players with first round grades and then top 100 players according to scouts.inc. Pretty good website when it comes to evaluating players. So we're using kind of that criteria. I've got a couple of standouts, maybe the top 3 or so players at each position, and then just one sleeper to keep in mind as we go forward. All right. So last year, there was only one off-ball linebacker who went in the first round, and then we didn't see another one until round 3. I don't think we're going to see a linebacker taking the top 40 to 45 picks this year. Okay, now you have some future starters in Junior Colson, Edgerrin Cooper from Texas A&M. You got him on the left there. Peyton Wilson from NC State. Jeremiah Trotter Jr. They could very well be future starters. After that, you're looking at just pretty good players to backups. All right, some of the guys that could you might find in day 3 are Tommy Eichenberg from Ohio State. We've talked about him. Also, Jalen Ford from Texas. That's another player who, that's one player I didn't mention as much early, but Jalen Ford's starting to get a little bit of respect, so that might be sort of a sleeper linebacker that you might be looking at. All right, so linebacker is what I've got ranked at the bottom. Number 10 is the tight end position. So there is one player with a first round grade. I'm sure you all know who that is. And then there are 4 players ranked in the top 100. Okay, so there is no position that's fallen off harder from last year than tight end. Okay, outside of Brock Bowers, and we've analyzed him to death. And you know what? If the Jets take him at number 10, we're going to analyze him even more. But outside of him, I wouldn't even be looking during the first 2 days of the draft for a tight end. So Jatavion Sanders and Case Stover are both pretty good. They could become decent starters. I think that's it for the first 2 days. After that, you know what? You've got some decent middle round depth, but I think you're going to have a lot more questions. Some of the guys to watch down the road: Tanner McLaughlin from Arizona, AJ Barner from Michigan. Flight 2024. It wasn't One Jets Drive. It was Flight 2024. They had a nice little close-up of AJ Barner from behind, and they made sure to zoom in right on that name, Barner. I'm not saying it means anything, but it could happen. And also Tip Ryman from Illinois. That's another day 3 pick. And I think those guys could develop into maybe number 2 tight ends. But if you're looking for a difference maker, there's only one, and it's number 19, and he played at the University of Georgia. Curly Norman saying he wants a wide receiver or offensive tackle at pick 10. Hopeful for a trade down, though. So Curly is not on the Brock Bowers brigade. All right, totally respect that, and I absolutely understand it as well. I wouldn't mind a trade down if it means that we're going to talk about the idea of trading down a little bit later and what it might cost the Jets to trade down or what they could gain back. But I'll get to that in sort of the next feature. So I will be talking about that, and then we can decide if it's something that is a realistic event. All right, so I got tight ends at number 10. Number 9 is the running back position. Now, there is not a single player with a first-round grade, according to Scouts Inc., but there are 4 players ranked in the top 100 overall. Now, I don't expect a single running back to go in the first round. I expect a big round at the end of day 2, beginning of day 3. So round 3, round 4, that's a good place to get a running back. I think Jonathan Brooks from Texas on the left side there has the highest upside, but he's coming off a torn ACL. Torn ACL. Now, a lot of people like Trey Benson. I like him too, but there is definitely bust potential. I just don't know if there's any running back I would want to take in the first 2 rounds. Jalen Wright from Tennessee, I like him a heck of a lot. You have Isaac Guerendo from Louisville, very good sleeper. Marshawn Lloyd from USC. If you need a starter right away, you might want to look at Ray Davis from Kentucky. Very, very talented player, runs with power, but he is 24 years old. He's got some mileage on him, but if you want somebody to play immediately, Ray Davis is a good way to go. But there's other sleepers. You guys know I love Jawar Jordan, also a Louisville running back like Isaac Guerendo. So you can get some depth here, but it's not a very highly ranked position. This is a depth position here. Rusty Spooner says Blake Corum will get selected in round 2. I am just not a Blake Corum guy. I got him maybe as my 4th or 5th running back. I like guys like Braylon Allen and Audric Estime a little more than I like Blake Corum. But that's just me. But Rusty, glad you're here. Yeah, yeah. It's funny. Elon loves Curly skepticism. But Curly, Modine, all we need is a Larry, and we just have like the three. I don't mean that in a bad way, but we got Curly and then we got Modine, and they both tend to be on the negative side. They tend to lean that way most of the time. But Elon says Corum is going to be a Charger. Okay, that is a very interesting prediction. It could be with the Michigan connection there with Harbaugh. It could be. All right, so that is number 9 is the running back position. Number 8 for me is safety. Now, this is a position where the Jets could use a little bit of help. The first round grades, nobody has a first round grade, but you have 8 players in the top 100. So you got a little bit more depth here. You guys know I love Tyler Nubin from Minnesota. The fact that I have seen a mock draft where they have the Jets drafting Nubin in the 3rd round is amazing to me. If Tyler Nubin is there at 72, I am running that card up to the podium as quickly as I can. Well, then it'll probably cut away to like a shot in London or maybe something with the military. They'll be the ones announcing that pick. But as soon as pick 71 is made, I would make pick 72 Tyler Nubin in many, many cases, unless something absolutely shocking happens. But I like him an awful lot. I've also got confidence in Kalen Bullock from USC and Cole Bishop. I like both of those players. The rest are a little bit hit and miss. They've got some definite ups, definite downs. But you could get some really good depth with guys like Trey Taylor, Malik Mustafa, Keaton Oladapo. And Malik Mustafa is an interesting one. So I've seen him projected in many drafts in the 6th or 7th round, but I'm looking at Jordan Reed's ESPN Plus mock draft this week. Now, I'm not the type to come on here and analyze mock drafts, right? But this one I did because it was ESPN Plus. It's the week of, and he had the Jets taking Malik Mustafa in the 4th round. I thought that was really, really bold, but that's what he had. He actually had Jordan Travis going to the Jets with the Mr. Irrelevant pick. We picked 257. I don't think there's any way Jordan Travis makes it all the way to 257, but that's my opinion. All right, but I think most of the safeties in this draft are more box safeties, guys who can help you on special teams. I think you got 3 or 4 really, really good ones, maybe 5 if I'm being really generous. After that, it's going to fall off quite a bit, and then you could just kind of put them all in a jar, shake it up, and then pull one out. Whoever you get, you get. Yeah, Rusty, I agree. I'm definitely a Cole Bishop guy. I like him. I like him quite a bit. Good downhill hitting safety. Very, very smart player too. All right, number 7 is going to be interior offensive line. Now, again, you have no players with a first-round grade, which is a little surprising to me. Scouts Inc. has 6 of them in the top 100. I just think there's a little more upside than what they think. But if you look at the first 3 rounds of the 2023 draft, there were just 6 interior offensive linemen who went in the first 3 rounds. This year, I think you're going to get a little bit more than that. I think you could find a starting center in the 4th round, potentially. There may be a few true guards going in the 2nd or 3rd round, but I think for right now, you'll have a lot of depth. I don't really expect any guards to go in the 1st round, unless you're talking about a Troy Fontenot or a Graham Barton, but those guys have some flexibility. Some people have them as tackles, some as guards, but as far as a true guard goes, like a Cooper Beebe or a Christian Haynes, I would expect maybe 2nd round for them. For a sleeper, Dylan McMahon from NC State is a pretty good one. Central Florida's Tylen Grable. That was a player I didn't really know much about, but he tested well at the combine. That's a sleeper. He played left tackle in college, but he's kicked inside to guard, and he's even being trained for a possible move to center as well. But I really like the centers here with Jackson Powers-Johnson, Zach Frazier, Tanner Bortolini. You could get a very, very good center in this draft if that's something that you're looking for. All right, now we go to number 6, and it's going to be defensive tackle. We have 2 players with first-round grades, but 10 players in the top 100. Now, there's no Jalen Carter in this group, all right? You don't have a ton of first-rounders. I think you might have 2 in Byron Murphy and Johnny Newton, but you have some very, very good rotational pieces that you can pick up during day 2 and early day 3 that can blossom into legitimate starting players. Braden Fiske from Florida State, Tavondre Sweat from Texas. We know his draft stock has taken a hit since the DUI charge. You know, some people have him going in the 4th round, but I can tell you, he is a 2nd-round talent. Chris Jenkins from Michigan, Michael Hall from Ohio State, Brandon Dorlus from Oregon. all excellent values here. Now, defensive tackles, we know that they're not going to be valued as much as edge rushers. So if you could get one of these types of players on day 2, you're getting something really, really good. And Justin Aboigbe, that's a day 3 sleeper worth mentioning at Alabama. Was very overshadowed. Hadn't had the best workouts, but he did have 7 sacks last season. There's a lot to like about him. Rusty Spooner, yeah, we talked about Justin Rogers last week, man. Man, absolute run stuffer. Absolute run stuffer. Not the best athlete. He might be a bit of a one-trick pony, but what he does well. Justin Rogers from Auburn, yes. Yes, we definitely profiled him last week. I'm glad we're on the same page, man. Yeah, GVH. Yeah, didn't you like his speed, his explosiveness? I mean, he was cutting those corners, getting around, and just running with a level of fierceness. Man, I liked what I saw from him. I mean, Robert Saleh, Jeff Ulbrich, they talk about playing with violence. Ulbrich, when he talked, during the Senior Bowl about heart, mind, and fist, Fiske brings the fist. He brings the violence. No question about it. Non-stop motor, you know it, my man. You know it. All right, so I like the defensive tackle class here quite a bit. Number 5 for me is going to be quarterback. You have 4 players with first-round grades, 6 players ranked in the top 100. We all know that quarterbacks are going in the top 4, at least 3. Maybe it'll be 4 or 4, Quarterbacks, I'll give you a little number here. So quarterbacks have gone back-to-back-to-back to start the draft 3 times. 1971, 1999, and 2021. Although I would rather forget the 2021 draft, at least the first part of it if I could. But we've never, ever seen quarterbacks chosen with the first 4 picks of the draft. All right, the last time we saw 4 quarterbacks taken in the top 10 was 2018. And then you've got Bo Nix and Michael Penix. They're likely to go in the second round. Maybe one could go late in the first. Now, there'll be good depth within the first 60 picks, but I think after the third round, it's going to really start to fall off. All right, I like Michael Pratt more than Spencer Rattler. Some people would disagree with me on that. That's fine. But after those type guys, I think it's a pretty big drop-off to Joe Milton, to Jordan Travis, to Sam Hartman. Carter Bradley from South Alabama, I think he could surprise some people. He threw 47 touchdown passes over his last 2 college seasons. Very productive, and that's the kind of quarterback that you want to draft and sort of stash him behind Aaron Rodgers and Tyrod Taylor. All right, so we got quarterback at number 5. On to number 4, and it's edge rusher. All right, so we got 4 players ranked with first-round grades, 12 players ranked in the top 100. Last year was the year of the edge rusher. Anderson, Wilson, Van Ness, McDonald. And this group is not much different. They've got a lot of star power with Dallas Turner, Jared Verse, Layadu Latu, and Chop Robinson. All of them have very different ways of rushing the passer, different types of talent. It just depends on what the organization likes. But I think after the Big 4, the edge rush class drops off a little bit. There is some good value on day 2. Marshawn Nealon from Western Michigan. Adisa Isaac from Penn State. We talked about Muhammad Kamara. He is starting to get a little bit linked with the Jets. I think, though, that you could get him maybe around the 5th round or so, 4th or 5th round. But I think if he is there on day 3, the Jets might go after him. But I do think there's going to be a drop-off in terms of edge rushing talent on day 3. We all know the Jets are pretty capable of finding edge rushers off the scrap heap. So let's see how they approach this. Rusty Spooner mentions Jonah Ellis. Yep, we talked about him too in the past. Yep, I like him. Javon Solomon, that's a pretty good one. You know what, Curly Norman? It's something, there's some positions you just keep building the pipeline for. JFM, we don't know how much longer he's going to be there. It is true, you can't have enough edge rushers. Ask the New York Giants when they had Strahan, Umenyiora, Tuck, all those other guys. So put it this way. Seriously, so Norman, if they draft just a developmental edge rusher in the 6th or 7th round, will you really be that mad? If you will be, you will be. But, it is a premium position, and that's what this defense is predicated on. It's predicated on getting the pass rush with 4 players. Hey, who knows? Will Hassan Reddick be here after this season? So it's just something to keep in mind. All right, so now let's go to the top 3. At number 3, I've got cornerback. The same numbers as edge rusher. 4 first-round grades, 12 top 100 players. All right, last, and I would say this. I think this is a top-heavy position. I think there's a little more upper echelon talent with cornerback than there is with edge rusher. Quinyon Mitchell, Nate Wiggins are flying up the draft boards. There are many other players who could go on day one or early day two. Terry and Arnold, man, I watched him play a little bit this week. Man, he looks good. What an athlete. Cooper DeJean, Kool-Aid McKinstry, drink it in, man. Those players, I think, could all become legitimate number one cornerbacks. And there is some pretty good depth on day two as well. Renardo Green from Florida State. I like Renardo Green a lot. Iowa State's TJ Tampa. Certainly Max Melton from Rutgers. They have second round grades. And there'll be some talented corners getting looks inside the top 100 picks but they might weigh 170, 180 pounds. So that's typically going to put them down into the third or fourth round. But you have some corners in this class who can really, really cover, like an Elijah Jones from Boston College. That's another name I would look for really, really late. So I think there are some good corners to get. And again, with DJ Reed, Brandon Eccles, and MC2, their contracts are all coming up this year. You're not going to be able to keep everybody. So it might be a position where you're drafting for the future. Something to keep in mind. All right, now on to our last two positions. You know what they're going to be, but in what order are they going to be? My number two position. Yes, Rusty, we always have to mention Storm Duck. Wah, wah. Yes, we have to mention Storm Duck. Okay. Number two to me is offensive tackle. 6 players with first round grades, 14 players in the top 100. This is the best tackle class in 10 years. That year, in 2014, 5 were drafted in the first round and 12 went in the top 100. This position's probably going to get overdrafted at some point. You'll get a run on offensive tackles because demand is so high. But you have a lot of depth. You have high-end talent that can play right now. You've got developmental guys as well. I think you're going to see 6 tackles go in the first round, and it could be 7. I really think that could happen. But there'll be depth into the 5th round with guys like Christian Jones, Javon Foster, guys like that. That does not happen often. But other guys are moving up the board. Roger Rosengarten, he's moved up the board. So he's gone from like a 5th round to a 3rd rounder. Garrett Greenfield from South Dakota State, that's another sleeper as well. But yeah, it's one of those situations where if the Jets had that 2nd round pick, I think they could grab a tackle in that round, and I'd still be pretty good with it if it went that way. And Jordan Morgan from Arizona, I like him too. Rusty's mentioned Jordan Morgan. I like him. Some people are a little bit mixed on him. I think he's capable, but he's the type of player I'd want him to develop for a year before. I don't want to put him right in the starting lineup. But the Jets are in a position where they can do that if they need to. And number one for me is absolutely wide receiver. 5 players with first-round grades that maybe one less than offensive tackle, but 19 top 100 players. So nearly a 5th of the list is wide receiver. So the top of the class, the 3 main guys, you've heard the names. I don't even need to say them to you. Yes, they offer superstar potential, but the guys on day 2 as well. Xavier Leggett, Roman Wilson, Ladd McConkey, Troy Franklin, Malachi Corley, Jalen Polk, Xavier Worthy, Ricky Pearsall. Oh my goodness, legit prospects. Day 3, you still got prospects who need a little bit of polishing. Javon Baker, Jacob Cowling, Taj Washington, Malik Washington as well. Ryan Flournoy's getting some love too. But man, this is a hype train that is running down the track and you can't stop it. There are so many good wide receivers that are going to be available. It's one of those things. If the Jets don't go wide receiver first, I'm okay with it. And this is a reason, outside of Marvin Harrison, I'm going to get into this more later, I would not trade up for another receiver because I just think there are that many really, really good ones that are going to be available in round 3 and round 4 if the Jets don't trade up. To me, there's nobody I'm trading up for besides Marvin Harrison. That's just how I feel about it. But, I respect that there's some people who feel a little bit differently than I do, and that's okay. All right, well, that is it for my rankings with the positions. And now what we're going to do is talk about the number 10 pick. What would I, as a Jets fan, want? So I'm going to rank these things from 10 all the way to 1, all right, on who I would want to see the Jets draft. So my top 10 preferences for pick number 10. We got 2 top 10 lists coming up. This is like freaking Letterman here, right? I just don't have a band here to play me in and out of the breaks. But anyway. All right, so my top 10 preferences for pick number 10. Number 10 for me, I've just got this on one side. Troy Fontenot, the offensive lineman. I think my issue with him, I don't know really what position he's best at playing, and he's only had one good year as a starter. I wonder if he's a one-year wonder. I like him, but I would not want him unless we traded down. Number 9, Brian Thomas. I like him for sure. Capable player, but he did play with Malik Neighbors. If Thomas is getting a lot of attention in the NFL, I'm not sure. Still like him. I'd be cool if they did acquire him, but he's not quite that high on my list. Number 8, Talise Fuaga. My biggest thing with him, he's a mauler, excellent run blocker, no doubt about it, but he's just not going to be a left tackle in this league, and I feel like I want somebody who can potentially do that. So, again, I like these players. I don't want there to be any confusion, but Fuaga, I'm not as excited about him as I have been previously. Olu Fashanu, I know he's going down in value a little bit, the smaller hands, but still a very capable left tackle, and I think now this is a player you can develop for a year while Tyron Smith is your starter. If the Jets go with Fashanu, it may not help them immediately, but I think a year on the bench would really, really help him. And number 6 for me is Brock Bowers. That is my number 6 thing on what I would do with this pick. Amazing athlete. I think Jets fans would fall in love with him. He'd sell a lot of jerseys. He can block. He could do all those things. I don't know if he's the downhill threat, the deep field threat that you would ideally want from a tight end, though. He's best at taking a short pass, kind of taking it downfield. That's really the strength of his game. And I know some people have gotten on me, but I'm going to say it again. Would Nathaniel Hackett know what to do with a Brock Bowers? I'm not positive about it. I'm just not. But Brock Bowers would outlast Nathaniel Hackett. And, Aaron Rodgers loves his tight ends. So I'm confident Rodgers can get some very good usage out of Brock Bowers. All right. Now I'm gonna slow this down a little bit. Number 5 is going to be trade down. Now, I know we got some folks here in the chat who want the Jets to trade down and acquire more draft picks, but it's easy to say, yeah, let's trade down and get more draft capital. But if we were to do that, what could we realistically get? What could we acquire for that? Well, Joe Douglas is going to be here on the phone, as you could tell. So I decided to make one extra slide here. All right, so this is like a little timeout from what we're doing. The value of trading down from pick number 10, according to the draft chart. So if the Jets were to move down, actually 3 spots to number 13, 3 spots, that could net a late third round pick. Are we really that excited over getting a third round pick, a late third round pick? Personally, I'm really not. That doesn't really do it for me. If they move down 5 spots to 15, that could get an early third round pick. I'd be pretty good with 2 early picks there. And then potentially you could package both of your thirds and move up to maybe midway in the second, something like that. You could also go down 8 spots to number 18. Now you're starting to lose a little value in the first round, but now you're getting into that second round, that sweet spot that we really want to get. So would you want to have, say, pick 10 and then not pick again until 72, or would you rather have, say, 18 and 50? So do you value the number 10 or, say, 18 plus 50, for instance? So that's something to think about. Or you can move down 10 spots to pick number 20, and that would net you sort of a mid to high second round pick. And then if you go 15 spots down to 25, that's pretty deep, but you could get 2 mid to late second round picks there as well. So who knows? Who knows what teams are going to want to come up for? But I'll tell you this, if the first 4 quarterbacks go in the top 9, I don't know what people are going to be trading up for. I don't know. It may be a wide receiver. Maybe. It is possible. I don't know if any team's going to be moving up for Brock Bowers. I really, really don't know. But I do believe Joe Douglas will move down if he feels that it's the best thing to do. I would love to get in the second round, but let's be honest. We could have very easily been in a situation this year where we wouldn't have even been talking about a pick until the mid to late second round. The Jets could have easily not had a first pick until the 50s if Aaron Rodgers didn't get hurt. So just something to keep in mind. As much as last year hurt, as disappointing as it was, at least it allows us to dream of what we could do with the top 10 pick. So I just wanted to mention that. Number 4 for me is Malik Neighbors. Now, There are a lot of people who would actually trade up for Malik Neighbors. He's a great player. He's an explosive player. Got a lot of respect for him. I just wouldn't trade up for him. You know, if they wind up getting him, if he were to fall to 10, great. I don't think that's ever going to happen. I personally think he's going to be gone by number 6 at the latest. But Neighbors would be my number 4 pick. Number 3 is Roma Dunze. I like Dunze a little bit more. I think he has a more consistent motor. I think he has better hands. He makes contested catches better and is more of a downfield threat. Got a bigger wingspan than Neighbors does. Neighbors has more speed and more explosiveness. So it depends on what kind of wide receiver you're really looking for. My number 2 would be Joe Alt. This is who I've wanted for a while now. I don't think there's a realistic way he gets past Tennessee at 7. I think he goes anywhere between 5 and 7. But if he were to make it past that, I'm looking to try to get him any way that I can. I would love Joe Alt on this team. I mean, to me, this is a player that I felt like Sauce was a can't miss player a couple years ago. I feel like Joe Alt is a can't miss. You know, the makeup, the background, the size, the skills, the intelligence, the mindset. He has everything you could realistically want. I'm not saying he's Anthony Munoz, but I think his floor is DeBrickashaw Ferguson. 10 years, consistent player, reliable. And if his floor is DeBrickashaw, I'm in. And the number 1 thing that I would do with this pick is trade for Marvin Harrison Jr. I'm not saying it's realistic. I'm not saying it's going to happen. I don't know if he's going to get I don't think he would get past 5. I think if the Jets are going to do this, they'd have to trade up from 10 to 5. Don't know if that's possible, but to me, there's a difference between Marvin Harrison and every other offensive player in this draft, quarterback included. That's how good he is. That is how good he is. So I don't need to say much more about him. Again, I don't think this is realistic, but that is the number 1 thing that I would do. And if that means you trade away like one of the bigger picks next year, you know what? Like you have to throw in like maybe a 2 and a 4 next year. I do it. I do it for that player. I do it. All right, so that is what we're going to do over there. GVHS, do you think the Bengals having 2 players, Higgins and Hendrickson, demanding trade impacts the Jets draft in the Jets' favor? Well, since he is picking 18th in the draft, I don't know if it will. I do believe one of them will get traded draft night, though. Remember, when the A.J. Brown trade happened from Tennessee to Philadelphia, it came out of nowhere, and it was during the draft. I think we're going to see that kind of a situation again tomorrow night. I think it's very, very, very possible. As far as who it would be, I don't know if they want to give up Hendrickson. I think they would trade Higgins. I think teams are willing to give up more for T. Higgins. I don't necessarily think it would be the Jets, but maybe, you know what? It is very conceivable that it could be. It could be. But, I don't know. If Cincy is willing to take future draft capital on, then I think it is conceivable that the Jets would make a push to try to acquire T. Higgins. It wouldn't be Trey Hendrickson, but one of them I do believe will be traded within 24 hours. So there's a bold prediction for you. Okay, so now let's do a little draft preview. So we are going to do, this thing wants to load. There we go. All right, the future is now. So we are going to make our top 10 predictions. I'm going to run through what I think is going to happen here. Just my thoughts. That's one of the things that's so cool about this draft. Like, we kind of know what's happening in the first maybe 2 picks, but after that, it's anybody's guess. So, here we are. We're in Detroit. We've introduced the 9,000 sponsors. Roger Goodell's gone to the podium. He's already been booed. And now it's time to start the draft. Didn't that just get you in the mood, guys? Didn't that get you excited? All right, well, number 1, the Chicago Bears are going to draft Caleb Williams. They're all in on him. Williams has been the odds-on favorite to land in Chicago since the beginning of the draft process. We all know this. Ryan Poles is going to make it official. The Bears have a great pass-catching trio in DJ Moore, Cole Kmet, and Keenan Allen. You also have a good offensive line with Darnell Wright and Braxton Jones at tackle, but they need somebody to make it go. They have to go quarterback. Even though Caleb Williams, in my mind, definitely has some bust potential, he's got probably the best upside of anybody, and that's who I'm going to go with. That was what George Allen said, the over-the-hill gang. I know that. I do know George Allen was like coach of the Redskins in the 70s. I do know that much. Swig of water for the working man and woman. All right. All right. So I believe Caleb Williams will go number one to the Chicago Bears. Hey, I did see the Bears have released a $5 billion stadium proposal to stay in downtown Chicago. I hope it goes through. It would be a domed stadium with a retractable roof, clear windows so you can see the skyline. It'll create some park space as well. I hope it happens for them. I lived in Chicago for 20 years. I know where Arlington Heights is. Okay, it's where the racetrack is. It's in the northwest suburbs. The Bears do not need to be playing in frickin' Arlington Heights. I can assure you. They should be downtown. It's the right thing to do, and I hope that stadium winds up happening. Of course, the absolutely pathetic Illinois state government is trying to block that any way they can. Curly Norman, I can't really say. I haven't been in too many. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. But the Bears are looking like they might be getting one. They got the proposal in place. Just hopefully the Illinois state government, who's known for their level of corruption being about as high as it gets, hopefully they'll get on board with it. If the governor could take the donuts out of his mouth and actually listen to the people. So. All right, number one, I've got Caleb Williams. Number two, the Washington Commandskins take Jaden Daniels from LSU. This is going to come down to Daniels and Drake May. But when you factor in how many veteran additions Washington has made during the offseason, they seem to believe that they're trying to win right now. But they still want to establish their foundation for the future. I think Daniels is more pro-ready than Drake May is. He can throw the ball down the field very well. He can run well also. Sort of like a new version of RG3, which will tug at the hearts of the Washington fans. Daniels averaged 11.7 yards per pass attempt last season and threw 40 touchdowns. Now, I know Daniels has said some negative things about the Washington organization, trying to get away. I don't think it matters. With Marcus Mariota being your other quarterback in the building, Daniels to me makes too much sense. So Daniels goes to Washington. And now we all know who's coming up next, but I think we need to make them feel welcome. That's right. Let them hear you from New England. Let New England hear you. All right, enough of that. The New England Patriots, yes, I've heard there have been some rumors that they might trade. I don't think they will. I think they're going to stick with Drake May from North Carolina. Look who it is. We got Sluggo here. Sluggo, draft time knuckleheads. Man, good to see you. Thank you for stopping by, my friend. I appreciate it. GVH getting on board. Yeah, there you go. Norman too. Awesome. Any chance to boo them, they deserve it. All right. Well, I think Elliott Wolf will scoop up the quarterback who's got your prototypical size, arm talent, the athleticism, and the Patriots, they'll take their time grooming him. Jacoby Brissett will likely be the starter. But, Drake May, his footwork, his decision-making still have to improve. So this is not a plug-and-play quarterback in my opinion. All right, then we go to number 4. There is some talk, will Arizona trade out of that draft pick? I don't know if that's going to happen. As a matter of fact, I think it doesn't. I think they draft Marvin Harrison Jr. There are going to be teams trying to trade up. And I'll tell you, Monty Austinfort, who's the Arizona GM, he likes to, deal and dine. He likes to move all around the board, but I don't see how you could pass on MHJ. I don't see it. There's Harrison. There's everybody else. All right? Let me give you a number on the Cardinals' offense last year. Their top receiver last year was Hollywood Brown. He had 574 receiving yards. There were 56 receivers in the NFL who had more than that. 56! Arizona's offense was so bad, Alan Lazard would have been a good wide receiver for them. All right, maybe not that far. Almost a good receiver. How about that? But Harrison is clearly the number one receiver that Kyler Murray needs. Yeah, Arizona cannot get too cute here. Take Harrison, call it a day. All right. Assholes are trash. Yeah, they're an interesting breed. Yeah, I lived there for a few years. I know the deal. All right, we go to the number 5 pick, and we go to the LA Chargers of San Diego, California. Now, this is a little bit of an upset pick. A lot of people are thinking Joe Alt is the pick here, but I'm going to say we see an upset. I think the Chargers have an incredible gap at wide receiver. No more Keenan Allen. No more Mike Williams. Who's their best receiver right now? Josh Palmer? Justin Herbert's a very good quarterback, but who's he throwing the ball to right now? Exactly. Who's that player? I think Neighbors goes here. He finished last year with 1,569 yards and 14 touchdowns. Fantastic route runner. Maybe the most explosive wide receiver in this class. Jim Harbaugh is going to cover that. So a lot of people are saying it's Joe Alt, but I'm going to say it's Malik Neighbors going at 5 to the Chargers. And then we get to the New York Giants. Now, this is one of the most pivotal picks in the first round. What will little boy Blue do? Big Blue, I'm sorry. But there's talks about, will they go quarterback? Will they go for like J.J. McCarthy or somebody like that? Everybody seems to think it will be an offensive pick. I do agree with that. I think for right now, you know what? You still have Daniel Jones under contract, and you still need to upgrade what's around him. You need to give him a chance to succeed. So I say the Giants also go wide receiver and draft Rome Odunze from Washington. Sorry about that. Said LSU. It's Washington. Okay. But Odunze can make an immediate impact for Daniel Jones. Will make big plays on vertical routes or over the middle down the field. So I think we get 3 quarterbacks and then 3 wide receivers to start the draft. Number 7, unfortunately, I've got the Titans taking Joe Alt. I've said it before, there is no shot he's getting past pick 7. If he is there, that is your plug and play at left tackle. And then you have Peter Skoronski on the left side. And the Titans, they look to have a pretty good team coming together, with some of the pieces they've acquired. Now you've got the offensive line that they have sorely needed. He's a versatile blocker, difficult to get around, great head, great attitude, just about anything that you could want. All right. Elon agrees with the top 4. He's got the Chargers trading back with the Vikings. Okay, so I think Minnesota's going to jump all the way up and draft JJ? Okay. So you think they're going to do that with pick number 5? Well, Elon, you set me up very well, because with number 8, I've got the Minnesota Vikings trading up for that pick with the Atlanta Falcons and drafting J.J. McCarthy, the quarterback from the Michigan Wolverines. I think that JJ is about as good a fit with Minnesota as any team would be. He's accurate. He's mobile. You have some very big talent on the Vikings, especially on the offense with Jefferson. The Vikings have Sam Darnold, so you don't have to start JJ immediately. His QBR last year was 88.2, 3rd in the nation. Might need a little time to adjust to the pro game, but I think it makes sense for the Vikings to jump up a couple of spots and take McCarthy. And then number 9, we go back to the Chicago Bears. Now, they could go a number of ways. Now, they've acquired the quarterback. I think they've got a pretty good offensive structure in place by this point. Hey, Ryan Jett, haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, my friend. I'm glad that you stopped by, man. Thank you so much. Yeah, guys, please hit the thumbs up if you haven't yet. Please subscribe, share with a friend. Appreciate everybody's support for sure. Rusty, here we go. Rusty, I really think the Raiders will want to trade with us at 10 for Penix. I wouldn't be against it. Just depends how the board falls. Yeah, I don't mind trading down, but it depends who you feel that you could get. It's interesting because Joe Douglas said we have 10 players we're excited to take. So, I don't know if that means we won't trade down or if there's more to it than that. Wow. We got a sudden upsurge here in the chat. Man, thanks so much, everybody, for stopping by tonight as we're breaking down the top 10 picks that I think are going to happen. And we're just a few minutes away from doing Jets Trivia, and we are definitely going to be doing a mock draft or 2 tonight. We've got to. I think we got to bust the wheel out as well, right? Yeah, we most definitely are going to do that. The great Scott Foster joins us here as well. Good evening to you as well, my friend. I'm glad that you're here. And Dano, how you doing? What are you going to be doing with the Jets are on the clock? Well, I'm going to be hanging with the Virginia Jets fans group at AJ Gators in Norfolk, Virginia for one of the last times before I move down to North Carolina. So basically, I shall resign the presidency of the Virginia Jets fans effective noon tomorrow. Yeah, it's gonna be a little bit of a bummer to leave them, but yeah, I'll still be on the Facebook group and stuff like that. I'm just gonna miss watching the games with them, but I'm sure I'll find a good Jets community in North Carolina as well. So it's just a new era. That's the toughest thing to leave behind is my Jets fans friends here in Virginia, if you can believe it. But that's the truth. Knobcraft, we're gonna be neighbors, dude. I'm 5 minutes away from PNC Arena in Raleigh. I'm in West Raleigh. That's where I'm gonna be. Yeah, apartment secured. I decided on a moving company today. My new job starts May 20th. Moving day is going to be in 2 weeks. Yeah, all this stuff's happening really, really fast. So, like I said, for those just joining, yeah, there's a reason there are no banners behind me and I've got the virtual background up because this room is barren. The walls are bare right now. Oh, gosh. Hey, Johnny, free raffle tomorrow. So if you want to be in, be one of the first 40 to arrive for the Sauce Gardner figurine. Knobcraft, you're 20 minutes away? Fantastic. Hey, my email is in the channel description. Shoot me an email, and we can work something out. That would be really, really cool. Elon's leaving North Carolina. Oh, hey, North Carolina wasn't big enough for the both of us. They couldn't handle you and me at the same time. That'd be a little too much New York for them. Oh, would have been crazy, wouldn't it? All right, so now we go to the Bears, number 9. Now, I think they're going to go defense here. I think this will be the first defensive pick of the draft, number 9, and I say it's Dallas Turner, the edge rusher from Alabama. Now, the Bears in this draft, believe it or not, only have 4 picks, but 2 are in the top 9, so they could trade back for more capital. It's possible, but Ryan Poles, to me, hasn't really addressed defensive end aside from the Montez Sweat trade. Now, Chicago had only 30 sacks last year, second fewest in the league, and Turner had 10 sacks at Alabama. Him plus Sweat, that now you got a good edge rushing duo that the good teams really, really need. Thanks, Nathan. Yeah, I appreciate the good luck. Yeah, the moving company deciding on that, I didn't know that was going to cost what it was going to cost. That's rough, but I'm without getting into too much detail, I am very blessed to have certain situations lining up the way that they are. And yeah, I'm super excited. I'm super, super excited to do this. And Rusty is down by Charlotte. Okay, so yeah, you're about 2 hours from me is how that's going to work. Beautiful. Yeah, it'd definitely be cool to get together. We can meet halfway in Greensboro, have a beer or something like that. Yeah, I'd love it. Love it. Rusty's in Charlotte for 2 more months. Oh man, the 3 of us together. Oh my gosh, that'd be quite a conversation. Elon, Rusty, and me. Wow. You think that'd be to the rest of the chat? Do you think that would be an opinionated conversation between Elon, Rusty, and myself? I think so. You think Olu might go to the Bears? I think the Bears already have a pretty good offensive line, though. You still have Braxton Jones. You have Darnell Wright. I think you got your tackles. I think that's going to be good. That's my opinion on that. All right, so with that in mind, the Jets could go a couple ways. You could draft Brock Bowers. You could trade down. You could draft one of Fashagatanu. That's why I call the 3 of them Fashagatanu. All right? But here's what I'm thinking. Last year, the Jets were about the pipeline. Last year's draft was about the pipeline, building for the future. McDonald, JBC, Zaire Barnes, Izzy Abanaconda, all these guys were drafted for 2 years or so down the road. I think now, if we look at what Joe Douglas has done in the offseason, a lot of it has been about win now because he knows his butt is on the line. Robert Saleh knows he's in the same situation. They have to make impact moves that can help right away. You can draft in the pipeline after that, but you need to have an impact player on the field with that first-round pick. This is what I'm thinking is going through their minds right now. Garrett Wilson is great. I love Mike Williams, but he's coming back from knee surgery. And one thing we know, what does Aaron Rodgers love? What does Aaron Rodgers utilize as much as any quarterback we've seen? The tight end. And Brock Bowers, to me, is the best one in this class. I know some people aren't going to love it. I know some people are worried about it. I get it. I do think the Jets will draft a developmental offensive lineman or 2. And I do think if Odunze or Neighbors were to somehow make it to 10, that would be the pick the Jets make. But I think they're going to go with Bowers and draft an offensive lineman and wide receiver in the 3rd and 4th round or 4th and 3rd round, either way. but I think they need to go with the immediate impact right now. And if any quarterback could take advantage of Brock Bowers and maximize his capabilities, it's a R8. That is what I'm thinking is going to happen. So I'm saying Brock Bowers will be a Jet in about 22 hours from now. That's what I'm thinking, guys. All right. And I do think, I don't expect a trade here. I don't think the Jets are going to trade into the second round because I just don't know what teams are going to want to move up for. When you have all those other offensive linemen on the board, I think a lot of these teams are going to be content to let one drop down to them. So that is pretty much what I'm expecting to have happen. I did feel if there was one player the Jets would draft after round one, it would be Jaden Hicks, the safety. But now I got to be honest with you, I've lost some confidence in that. I've seen drafts where he's mocked to go in the 40s in the middle of the second round. But if he makes it to the third round, I think that would be an excellent pick for the Jets because they could use some help at safety as well. All right. Well, I hope everybody enjoyed that. And so now, we've been on the air for about an hour. Now we're going to have a little bit of fun. So we're going to do all the things that you've come to know and expect on the Wednesday Night Live extravaganza. And I always enjoy doing this to you, with you guys. But you know what? It's even more fun when I get a little bit of assistance. When I get a friend joining me, when I get somebody who's just as crazy, passionate, loyal, insane about Gang Green as I am. They're not easy to find, but I think I've got somebody who not only fits the bill, but he kind of overflows it a little bit. Let's welcome to the program, the one, the only, Nick Shine. How you doing, Nick?
Well, that guy you described couldn't make it, so I'm here.
I don't want. I felt like I don't want to take any shots tonight. I don't know.
I'm having an echo.
What?
I'm having an echo.
Oh, an echo? I can hear you just fine. Sound good on my end.
Check. No, still there.
Yeah. Do you have on StreamYard the echo cancellation option?
It's on.
Okay.
Let me. I'm getting a kickback at me. How about you guys, chat? You hear I'll exit and come back.
Okay, sounds good. All right, Elon. Yep. Thanks for joining us, man. Get some sleep. Have a good meeting in the morning. Thank you for joining us. All right. Yeah, echo. Okay. Yeah, is there no echo on my end, though, right, guys? Okay. All right, we got it. All right, I'll wait for Nick to pop back up. He'll refresh the browser, and I'll bring him right on in. All right, so we're going to get the trivia ready. But I'm not. Yeah, I'll wait till Nick comes back in to get that started. All right.
Check.
Okay, Nick, try it now.
No. Still kicking back at me.
Still hearing it? Okay.
I'll play around with my audio. Go ahead. If the chat's not hearing it, I'll deal with it.
Okay. All right, sounds good. David D, good to see you here. We've got the great Chris Bradigan here as well, from I'd say the great town of Kenosha, Wisconsin, but it's outside of Frank Steiner, who makes amazing breakfast. Not a lot else to say about Kenosha. All right, but I'm glad he's here.
Hello?
Still hear the echo? Okay.
It's a little less.
It's a little bit less?
Something else. I don't know. I've never had that before.
It was weird. I was going to do a live stream last night for the Rangers-Capitals game, and I just couldn't get the microphone to work. It was so strange. I had to cancel the stream. You never know what's going to happen with technology. So.
Check.
Yeah, they're still saying echo.
I even changed the microphone to the camera off the regular mic.
Yeah, settings, microphone, and should be able to toggle.
Oh. Stupid technology.
It's great when it works.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dano, who works in IT, I'm assuming, downgrade to Windows XP, then throw your PC out the window.
As long as he's holding the PC.
Johnny Jimenez, it sounds like an 80s hip hop concert.
Mic check. 1 2 1 2.
It's one on. Yeah.
Let me reboot. I'll be back.
Rusty says no echo anymore. Wait, Rusty says no echo anymore.
No, I hear it. It's annoying me. Let me reboot. I'm sorry.
All right. All right. I'll hold off. All right. So I gotta kill 5 more minutes. All right. All right. One thing I am going to do next week. So just on a side note, so the fifth year options for the 2021 first round draft picks have to be decided on by next Thursday, May 2nd. So one of the things we'll do Wednesday is go through the 32 first round picks from 2021, take a look at what teams have picked up their option, who's available, see what those options are going to cost just to see because that was a very interesting draft for the Jets. That was the Zach Wilson AVT draft. So there's a lot of questions right now. Will the Jets pick up the 5th-year option on AVT? To me, it's about $15.3 million, and to me, you absolutely do that. You know what's interesting though? Those options. Now I don't know how many people knew this, but 15.3 million. If he had made a Pro Bowl, that option would have gone up to 19 million. Yeah, so there's the base option, there's playtime, there's incentives, and all that kind of stuff. So the fact that AVT's gotten hurt has actually prevented him probably from going to a Pro Bowl, might have made one, and that has actually cost him almost $4 million for next season. How about that? Johnny, with a wrestling question, how about Becky Lynch winning the title? I was super pissed. Who do you want in the draft? Here's the only reason I'm not mad about Becky winning. The draft is coming soon. I think Liv Morgan will take the title, but this allows the Liv Morgan revenge tour to continue because now she could be even madder. She could get even more crazy or more psychotic, and all of that. It'll just drive her that much closer to the brink of insanity. And she could just go ape shit on Becky when she takes the title. So I think Becky is going to be a transitional champion to sort of make the next person. Because if you're one of like these young women's wrestlers, if you're like, I'm sorry, names like Liv, a Zoe Stark, a Tiffany Stratton, those types of women, how much rub are you really getting by winning the title in a battle royal? If you beat Becky Lynch, that might give you the better rub. I think that's it. I don't think Becky has the title for more than a month. All right. Wake me up when MJF joins. Yeah, I would like that. I don't watch AEW, so I would love him on WWE for sure. All right. Nick, let's try it again. Nick Shine, welcome back.
Hello?
Hello? Still?
No, I've rebooted the computer. I just did my show with guests on. I had no issue.
You think there's anything I could do?
I don't know.
Settings. I mean, I'll try audio on my end. Reduce background noise. I'll hit echo cancellation on mine. Maybe that'll help.
Hello? Hello?
Good on my end still?
That's it.
That's it? You're good? All right.
I don't hear it.
Okay, then I hit echo cancellation. We should be good to go. All right. Well, that was a very exciting 12-minute build-up. So, guys.
10 and a half minutes more than I'm used to.
Oh, Lord. 10 and a half. Yep. And now we get to the main event. All right. So I got to remember to hit echo cancellation because it affects the guest as well. All right.
It was a group effort. We all did it. We got to the finish line.
This is why I work in education and not in technology, everybody. All right. So what we're going to do now is show you the results of my work for the week. So you guys know what happens. Every single week, I head into the basement. I bust open the books. I open up the websites. I research the history of gangrene. And I question you. I challenge you, the most loyal fans of the most loyal fan base in the entire National Football League. And I come up with a question to test your knowledge about the New York Jets. So if you dare, let's play Jets Trivia. All right, guys. So here we go. You know how this works.
All of you. I'm gonna beat all of you.
Oh boy! So
the phone will be right here.
Hank G. It's trivia time. That's right.
My phone will be right here.
Technology. The future keeps changing every 5 minutes.
That way, everyone can see my phone is not in my hand for this.
And you're not checking the Glenn Cyclopedia. Okay. All right. I may have asked this question before. I feel like the last couple of weeks I've gone a little bit too challenging. I decided to change it. Oh, Dane says that. Oh, this is good. Dane.
That's what I have open on my phone to go over with you.
Oh, okay. So we got to do that after we're done. All right.
Good call, Dean.
So I will set the timer for 5 minutes. And the question tonight goes like this. Name the 2 draft years that the Jets drafted 2 players from Ohio State, and name the 4 players drafted during those 2 years.
Oh my God! I know the first one automatic. Should I give the chat a chance, or can I? I know
Give
the
the
first
chat a
one.
chance. Yeah, give the
All right.
chat a chance. Let's give them 1 minute. So there were 2 years in the history when the Jets drafted 2 players in the same draft, and they went to Ohio State. I want the years and the players. All right. Wild Wave says Darren Lee. Darren Lee, well, don't know how to really tell you this, but no. That buzzer was a little extra loud tonight. Oh, my God, because I had to turn up for the booing. All right. Rusty Spooner says Mangold, Garrett, and Golston. Again, okay, 2 players in the same draft year. Okay?
So there
I
was
need
2 different drafts.
Yes.
With 2 players from Ohio State taken, not
right. So Nathan
right.
Colgrove, he's got the easy one. 2022, Garrett Wilson and Jeremy Ruckert.
I forgot about Ruckert. Yep, and Curly got the other one. Curly got the one that I
got the other one. I knew it's always Curly. When I saw Curly and Nick here, I'm like, I'm screwed. I should have got more challenging.
I was so looking forward to saying Schlegel.
Nick Mangold and Anthony Schlegel, a nondescript linebacker who did nothing. So Chet, you pretty much knocked this one out of the park. So here's what I got to say to you guys. You got to love the Japanese game show reactions. They're always the best. All right. So good job, guys. All right, let's get out of the trivia.
The original Ninja Warrior, where they wore their work costumes or work uniforms to do it, like the Postal Service guy would wear the Post Service uniform. The nurse would wear a nurse's outfit, and they run the obstacle course. It was so good. That's so much better than this overproduced American version.
Oh, yeah. I haven't watched the new version, but some of the old stuff, it's just like, oh my God, it's so different. Oh boy. All right. Well, you pulled up the Daniel Jeremiah mock draft, right?
Yeah.
All right. Let's talk about that.
So the last one that he had the Jets trading up.
Really?
He had the Jets going up for Harrison. The day after I said it as the first Jet content creator to say it, I had Boy Green on the Sunday night of the weekend we got Tyron Smith, and I said that we were going to go up. And he's like, that's spicy. I haven't heard that one yet. Next morning, Jeremiah drops his mock of us going up to get Marvin Harrison. And now everyone talks about it. All right, here we go. So his mock is loading. All right, here's Jeremiah's mock. Number 1, Caleb. Number 2, Jaden. Number 3, Drake May.
Mm-hmm.
He's got Arizona sticking and picking Marvin Harrison Jr. at 4. Here's where it gets interesting. Number 5, the Chargers stay at 5. And it has them taking J.C. Latham.
Wow. Dom C's heart just broke.
He says, this is where we could potentially see a trade, but I'm going to take the Chargers at their word that they want to be a more physical team and improve their run game. It might be a little bit of a surprise to see Latham go before Alt, but the former Alabama star is ready to rock at right tackle and is a more powerful blocker than his Notre Dame counterpart. Makes sense.
Definitely a bold prediction. But I would be I'm more than happy to see Latham go at number 5.
6, Malik Neighbors to the Giants.
Yep.
7, Alt to the Titans.
Right.
8, Turner to the Falcons.
Right.
9, Fashanu to the Bears.
Fashanu. Okay. Interesting. Okay.
Odunze to us.
We would get Odunze. Love it.
McCarthy to the Vikings.
McCarthy to the Vikings. Okay.
The Eagles trading up to 12 for Talise Fuaga.
Oh.
The Raiders staying at 13 and getting Penix.
Fuaga the Eagles. I can't get that out of my mind. Yeah, the Eagles have a good offensive line. All right.
I remember Lane Johnson's old.
He is.
He's old. And as spry as he looks at WrestleMania.
I was going to say, he looked okay at WrestleMania. Of course, that's what we would think.
14 Saints taking Fotano.
Yeah, they'll definitely take offensive line. They have to.
The Colts staying home and getting Bowers at 15.
Uh-huh.
Seahawks, Terrion Arnold, first cornerback off the board at 16.
Ooh,
Followed up by the Jaguars taking Quinyon Mitchell.
Okay.
My favorite player in the draft, Byron Murphy, going to the Bengals at 18.
Yeah,
Amarius Mims, a projected trade with the Rams, has Washington coming back up to get Amarius Mims at 19 to protect Jaden Daniels.
I like that.
20, Pittsburgh Steelers, Tyler Guyton from Oklahoma.
Makes sense.
A big surprise here for me, 21, the Dolphins not going offensive line, not taking JPJ, who's still there, taking Johnny Newton, defensive tackle.
They lost a lot on the defensive line this offseason. A lot.
They did.
Yeah.
If you're paying a quarterback money he doesn't deserve, you also lost Hunt up front, and you got a center who doesn't belong in the league.
Connor Williams, he's done some.
Armstead, who can't stay healthy. You got a lot of needs on that line.
Wow.
You can't throw every pass in 0.4 seconds. Eventually, you're going to have to block. 22, the Broncos, who traded back from the Eagles. Bo Nix, 22 to the Broncos. 23, the Vikings, Chop Robinson, defensive end from Penn State.
Okay.
This one could very well end up being one of the best picks of the first round. The Dallas Cowboys taking Graham Barton, interior lineman from Duke.
Yep.
This one could be very good too. I think these are great fits. These are great fits. This pick also. Packers taking Cooper DeJean. 26, a surprise to see, actually these next two picks, to see these guys this low, but someone's got to fall, right? Tampa Bay, Jared Verse, followed by Arizona getting Laiatu Latu.
Wow.
627 for edge 2 and 3. I hate this. You know what I'm going to say. This is my prediction who they trade up for, but the Bills.
The Bills what? The Bills?
This is my prediction. The Bills trade up for him, but he's got him getting them at 28, Brian Thomas Jr.
Yeah.
I think once that third receiver goes, the Bills are going to want to jump.
You're right. Yeah, if the Bills don't get a wide receiver like in the first top 40, what are they doing? What are they doing if they don't?
I'll let you say this name because it's a fun name to say. Number 29, the Detroit Lions take, oh yeah.
I was thinking Kool-Aid McKinstry.
Yeah. That was what the Kool-Aid thing yelled when he jumped through the wall.
Okay. Before you even said, oh, yeah, I was thinking, oh, this is totally Kool-Aid. Right? I knew unless it was Storm Duck, but that seemed a little bit early for him.
Baltimore at 30. Surprise, considering that they lost 3 offensive linemen. Nate Wiggins, cornerback.
They could draft anybody, and I'd be like, yeah, they're probably a good pick.
And this is his favorite fit in the first round. He says, we saw what Tank Dell did in a similar offensive system with Houston, and we know that Mike McDaniel has been able to build with so much speed at receiver in Miami that Xavier Worthy, goes to Kyle Shanahan in San Francisco.
Wow.
That's his favorite fit.
Wow.
And then at 32, Worthy's teammate, Adonai Mitchell, goes to the Chiefs.
Can you imagine that San Francisco offense and you throw Worthy speed into it? Oh, my God. Him, Debo, Ayuk, Kittle, McCaffrey. Even Zach Wilson couldn't screw that offense up.
I'm excited to see night 2. I'll be honest with you, because I think there's so much talent. I know we only have one pick as of now, but taking the Jet fandom of it out of it, the talent in round 2 and 3 and seeing how teams follow up their first round picks with how this draft plays out, how it falls, has me like giddy. Like I'm not gonna lie. Like I'm a fan of the draft, right? Just not just of the Jets, but I'm a fan of the draft. I love the storylines, the players that fall, the player who gets drafted that nobody saw coming, a Will McDonald, Aaron Rodgers falling that one year, the Jets trading back up into round one to get the third player, right? Jermaine Johnson. Like the storylines that happen, not just with our team, but throughout the league, when do quarterbacks 4, 5, and 6 go? I have a crazy prediction that no one has. I like to make predictions that are totally outside the box.
I've learned that.
I have 6 of the first 7 picks being quarterbacks that people trade up for. I got Williams 1, Daniels 2, May 3. I have the Giants jumping up to 4 to take McCarthy. I have the Jets trading up to 5 to get Marvin Harrison. I then have the Cardinals trading again to the Vikings, and they come up for Michael Penix at 6. 7, I have the Raiders jumping up to get Knicks. Because now once the quarterbacks go, everyone's going to get hungry. No one's going to want to wait, right? Like it's going to start a domino effect of we got to go get our guy, and you're going to have to overpay to go and jump. 8, I got Turner going. 9, I got Neighbors going to the Bears. And then 10 would be the Chargers, and the Chargers trade back and still get Alt. So that was like the little top 10 that I did.
Man, that one's on amphetamines.
Dude, when you have teams at 11, 12, and 13 who everyone in the league knows they're calling. Bleacher Reports putting the reports out. They're calling. Like they are calling every team because they are going to have to jump. You can't wait. Oh, I had Denver. What I have Denver up? Denver trade up for Bo Nix, I said, right?
Yeah, Denver with Bo Nix, yeah.
I just think no one's going to wait. Yeah, Ryan. I don't know, man. It's not. I just have a feeling that you're going to see the quarterback run go. And I think it's going to be. Listen, if I hit and 6 quarterbacks go in the first 7 picks, everyone can go say, Nick, proud New York Jet fan, called it. If not, It gets buried with all the other fucking awful takes that everyone will forget.
It wouldn't be the first. Yeah, you've had some crazy takes in the past, and some of them have proven to be correct. So that's why I certainly can't dismiss anything. Yeah, you never know.
Everyone's calling though. Everybody's calling for a quarterback. The Giants have called the Patriots. The Giants have called Arizona. Minnesota has called 3, 4, 5. Denver's called. Vegas has called. Everybody's called. There's reasons they're calling. They have to know what it takes to get to each position.
I want to address what Ryan said here. That'd be the best case scenario. All the offensive linemen and playmakers would fall. Yes, unless you want to trade back, because I don't know what anybody else is going to trade up for other than a quarterback. I don't think anybody's trading up for one of the offensive linemen because there'll be so many on the board. And I think they're about the same thing. Is somebody really going to trade up for Brock Bowers? I find that one a little bit hard to swallow. So to me, if there's still a player there that you want to take at 10, great. But if your idea is to trade down and collect more draft capital, you want a quarterback to fall, though. That's just the one thing. It depends what you're really looking for here. But I hear what you're saying. Yeah.
I mean, it's fun, right? If all of a sudden tomorrow,
what else can we do?
Quarterbacks start going, and I'm sitting there, and then I'm on with Gunny. I wasn't able to commit to my show because I didn't know I would be home. Wasn't supposed to be, but if I'm sitting there and I'm saying quarterback trade up, and these blocks on the bottom start to break away, and everyone's trading up for a quarterback, it's going to be fun. It's going to be fun content. If
Johnny,
not, I'm wrong like everyone else.
I will make sure that the Nick. Here's what we're gonna have with our setup. Like we're all sitting. We've got the one TV here, one on the right, one on the left. I'm gonna make sure the big TV has the draft. One side has Islanders, Hurricanes, and one side has Knicks, Sixers. Tomorrow is going to be one of the craziest sports nights here. And if you're a Yankees fan, the Yankees play at the same time too. At least the Mets are off because that'd be 5 things happening.
That's what I'll call my mock prediction. Knicks, Sixers, 6 quarterbacks going in the first 7. Knicks, Sixers. That's the
Nick Sixers. Nick Sixers. All right, I just will give you my share when you can.
That's fine. That's fine.
Nick Sixers. I like that.
Knicks, Sixers.
Yeah. Knobcraft says go Canes. Oh, well, I don't know, man. I got to tell you, I'm rooting for the Islanders in games 3 and 4. I want a long series here. That's right.
Why? That's who's next for the Rangers?
The winner of Canes Islanders, yeah.
They don't reseed in hockey? They go...
No.
Okay.
The system they have is ridiculous. To make a very long story short, they should just do 1 versus 8 and reseed, but they like the bracket because you can participate, you can gamble on it and all this stuff. But yeah, it's just the way it is. And so as a result of that, you get the 2 best teams in the Eastern Conference on pace to play each other in the second round when it should have been in the conference finals.
Who's the second best team?
The Rangers are the best in my mind. The Hurricanes are the second best, just looking at points. And the Bruins are right near there. The Panthers are right near there too. Hockey is so wide open this year. It's going to be a dogfight to whoever wins the Stanley Cup. It's really that close.
It usually is. That's a tough.
This year more so than ever because you don't really have like that one team that is clearly head and shoulders above the rest. But whoever survives Rangers Hurricanes, if that's the series we get right now, we're on pace to. That's gonna be. They will have survived something. Yeah, it's just a fun play. This is maybe the most fun I've had being a sports fan in a long time because there's just so much exciting stuff going on. The Jets are exciting. The draft is coming up. Baseball's pretty good in New York right now. Yankees are off to a great start. Mets are exceeding expectations right now. We know, Knicks are looking about as good as they have. The Rangers and Islanders are both in the playoffs. So, yeah, there's a lot to be happy about. Let's see how it finishes. I think what I'll be doing Friday is I'll have to have the draft on my laptop and the Rangers on the team because Pa 2K will be in town this weekend.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah.
Oh,
Pa
awesome.
2K99. So.
I was going to ask you if you want to come on with me Friday, but if you got family time, go ahead.
Yeah, the old family time and the Rangers play Friday night, so.
I'll shoot you the link if we pick later with it, being in the third round. If you want to pop in and talk, you're always welcome. You know that.
What time? What time will you be on the air? Do you think?
I'm gonna go on when the draft goes on. I don't have Nick Friday night.
Okay.
Let me rephrase that. They're giving me the work again in the town as the site manager, and he might load me up Thursday, Friday, when I get home.
Gotcha.
I'll go on when it starts or as soon as I get home.
Rusty Spooner of the Let's Go Islanders, man. You need a rally. You need it fast, my friend. You do. And again, I hope you do have one. I seriously, seriously do. Jake does not have the same level of optimism. He thinks the Islanders are toast. I don't know if you saw the stats, Nick. It was shot attempts. I said this earlier on the show. The Islanders had 28 shot attempts and the Hurricanes had 110 in the game. I know you're not the biggest hockey guy, but when one team has 4 times as many shot attempts.
Did you say 110 shot attempts in hockey?
Yes, not shots on goal. Like shots that may have gone wide, may have been blocked, but 110 to 28. Can you imagine what the 28-1 in basketball, for instance?
Tell me the 28-1.
No, they blew a 3-0 lead.
That'd be great if they won 5-1.
3-0 lead. Peter Schrager, I think Schrager's pretty good. He has us getting neighbors. Wildway, does he has us
changed it, huh?
Wildway, does Schrager have us picking him at 10, or is it a trade? Because I can't imagine Neighbors makes it to 10. I'd be shocked. Yeah, definitely. Yeah, put that in the chat for us because I can't imagine that we could just get 10 without trading for him. Will the Mets bring up Christian Scott and I guess Nolan McLean? McLean still has a lot of seasoning to go. Christian Scott will be up here, I'd say, by June. Their young pitching phenom. He is looking really, really good. Yeah. Mets were on a big winning streak. Then they lost 3, and today they had a great game against the Giants bullpen. Blake Snell got hurt. Yeah, Mets fans and Yankees fans both dodged a bullet with Blake Snell, in my opinion, and the Mets went to town on the Giants bullpen. So now back home they go for the Cardinals and the Cubs. So I'm good. All right, well, I'll tell you what. It is Nick, anything else on your mind before we do what everybody wants us to do here?
All right, fine. Oh, I want to get your opinion on a tweet that I had earlier. Everyone who is on the take an offensive line, get a weapon later. I tweeted this out. I want to get your thought on it. Joe Douglas, who I am a very big fan of, Joe Douglas. I love Joe Douglas. I think he should get an extension already. Like the way that this roster's been built from 2020 to now, I'm a huge fan. But if you are someone who's saying that we should take offensive line and get a weapon later in the draft, do you remember when he did that? Neither one of those guys is on the team anymore. It was Becton in round 1, Mims in round 2. So he's gone the offensive line first, weapon in round 2 route, and it did not work out for the Jets, for him, for those players. But you know what has worked out? When he took Garrett Wilson at 10, and then he took Joe Tippmann in round 2. So he's shown the ability to find a starting caliber offensive lineman in a middle round, right? I think 2, 3, and 4 we call middle, right? And then 5, 6, 7 are late.
Okay.
He's found the ability to find a starting offensive lineman in round 2, and he's found an elite wide receiver in round 1. He hasn't done it the other way. I'm more comfortable with doing what you've done instead of trying to break the mold. Little last minute take on that. With all the takes that we've seen about offensive line and weapon. What do you think?
My thought is this. I look at the first draft, and to me, it was influenced by a lot of things. It was his first draft. You had the COVID situation. You had different things where you couldn't really get in front of these guys, really interview them, bring them in, get to know them how you might have wanted to. So to me, I'm not saying that it's not like that draft didn't happen. It happened. They picked those players. They did not work out how we wanted them to. But I'm not going to let that influence me from – if I'm the general manager, I can't think about that draft and say, okay, I can't go tackle then weapon. If you believe in the player enough, you're going to do that. And that's why I can't get in on the idea that we have to go this position, then this position. We know if the Jets have a player high on their board, they will take him. The position barely matters. I mean, from everything that was put out there last year, who are the players that were highest on their board? McDonald? Michael Mayer? How many of us had an edge or a tight end as like top 3, 4 positions that the Jets might be looking at with their first round pick? It was all offensive tackle, 99% of it, and a little bit and wide receiver also. So I've come to realize what we, the fans, the beat writers, all those folks have in mind for what the Jets will do with this pick. They might be doing something completely different. All I could say is if I was in the situation, what would I do? What would make the most sense? So I've really learned to put the positions more on the back burner. The only time you get that specific with a position is if you need a quarterback, because that would trump everything. The Jets are not in that spot right now, certainly not in the first round. So to me, wherever they feel the best player is, wherever they will get the most impact, and in this case, immediate impact, because I think they need to make an impact quickly with that first round pick. That's what they're going to go do. That's my thought.
All right. Can you bring up Rusty's comment? It's the most recent one in the chat.
Yeah, JD hit with AVT, although he gets injured. Can't forget that. That was a home run. That pick was amazing.
Is it a home run if you don't play, though?
I know, but when he does play, but it's a GM. I can't put an injury situation on the GM if he doesn't have an injury history.
I'm not putting it on the GM. I just can't call it a home run. Like, it's a little league home run. There's a bunch of errors and some crazy shit happening, right? Like, it's not a major league home run over the fence, but
it's a shot up the gap, and he's still kind of rounding the bases, and will he keep rounding the bases?
It's an infield ground ball with 3 errors. Like, it's a little league home run. Like, the errors are the injuries. Like, you can't put that. Like, the player hit the ball, right? The GM made the pick, but a lot of other shit's going on. I don't even know if you pick up AVT's 50 year right now, to be completely honest with you. I know that's like the big conversation. If everyone was adamant that you do not take Becton after missing 2 years, how do you take AVT after missing almost 2 years? Just because you like him better? Because he's in better shape?
On the field, he's far more effective than Becton was. Look
Say
how
that again?
the running game collapsed once AVT went down 2 years in a row. I know Brees went down as well, but especially last year when AVT went down, Brees was still there. But I mean, you could see the difference in the production per game when AVT is not on the field.
But
I
that was
think now that
also
they're going to
injury
give him a
free.
position and solidify him in one position, that will be a weight off his shoulders. He could dedicate himself to one position. Now, I can't say much better than this. We got to hope and pray that the health stays where we want it to.
Yeah, but you also, when AVT went down last year, you'd already lost Dwayne Brown.
Yep.
Becton went from right tackle to left tackle. Max Mitchell came in at right tackle. Wasn't the Max Mitchell we saw glimpses of as a rookie. So Vera Tucker was the second injury, but the third positional change because Becton was at left tackle, Mitchell was at right, and AVT got hurt, and then Tittman came in. So I don't know. Like,
Went through
I would be
13
curious
offensive
to
linemen,
see.
right?
I'm fine either way. Like, I see all the positives of Vera Tucker. I see how loved he is. I see that the Jets put him in all their social media clips, right? Like, that's a tell. Like, when you stop seeing a player in the social media clips, that's because there's let's not attach the fans to this player too much. Let's start to make him go away.
And did anybody notice when Zach was traded, no teammates said a single thing about it?
Yeah.
There's a reason.
Well, let's not forget, dude. They celebrated. He wasn't supposed to play. He was supposed to sit behind Rodgers for 2 years. I feel bad for the kid. Like, I honestly do. I'll wish him success unless he plays us. Same with Darnold. I wish him success. But when you look at everything, Greg Knapp tragically dying, LaFleur not being a passing game guy, being now the passing game guy, that was a bad start. Then you change LaFleur.
Yeah.
Everyone gets injured. Brees gets injured year one.
We've had the
So many
crappiest luck.
things
I
went
hate to
wrong.
say that, but I hate to say unlucky, but we really have been. I mean, it was one of the first times in so long where I could say, okay, I could see what the Jets' vision is for how they're going to win games and it will be sustainable. It was the first time I've been able to say that in I don't know how many years.
Put up Addison's comment indirectly.
I know. I'm like, too
Indirectly.
soon, dude. The body's still warm. Holy hell.
I like that. Good call, Addison.
I know. It was he kind of I was like, dude.
Well, I mean, here's what I am with ABT.
Okay.
How you are with the 10 pick. Your good line, your good weapon. You're just like, okay, we know that it's got to be one of them. That's how I am with the option. I'm not going to be excited if we get it because I got to see you play a year. I'm not going to be down if we don't pick it up because I haven't seen you play a year. You know what I mean? Like, I'm literally Humpty Dumpty. I'm sitting on the fence right now. Shout out to Egghead. But like, I don't know. Like, I think it could honestly go either way, and I don't think either way would surprise me.
Rusty, it's past your bedtime, officially.
You know what's funny, Rusty? I think that Sean somebody in a Facebook group, Bruce Reader's group, New Era, or One Team, Our Team, somebody had a take that says, do you think Sean Payton hates Nathaniel Hackett so much he wants to prove that I can win with the quarterback that you couldn't? Like, it's just a personal vendetta at this point.
It would be pretty pitiful if it was, but I mean, seriously, how can the Broncos do anything but get a quarterback with what they have in that quarterback room right now?
I think it's Bo Nix. I think Bo Nix
seriously
is. I want to be careful how I word this because I know if you misword something, the chat will lovingly throw daggers at you instantly.
Lovingly.
I think Sean Payton thinks, that's how I word it. I think that Sean Payton may think that Bo Nix is something he can work with. Not saying he will be Drew Brees-like, but there are Drew Brees qualities. He's not the biggest. He is accurate. He will get the ball out on time. And those are traits that Drew Brees did to an elite level that like we never saw before with completion percentage, yardage, getting the ball out. I just think Sean Payton will look at Nix and say, I can work with that.
Okay. You might be right. Ryan Jet, I'm going to make a prediction for you right now. You mentioned the Jets play home this season against the aforementioned Denver Broncos. That will be the Jets' Thursday night game. I'm predicting it right now because every team has to have a Thursday night game. This makes sense. Because can you imagine if it's Zach Wilson with the homecoming? Oh my God!
I'm going week 2 our home opener.
Week 2 or so the first game would be on the road and our second game
My
would be at home
prediction is
against
week
Denver?
1 we are Sunday night football at San Francisco. That the NFL will want that massive game on week 1 Sunday night.
Nathan, I noticed the same
Eagles
thing.
have Friday night. You put the Jets on Sunday night, and then you get the Cowboys on Monday night. You get big market after big draw.
Yeah, Nathan, I noticed the same thing. I don't know what the Broncos were thinking about with the uniforms. I mean, the striping is what's just so screwed up. It is not good, not good. Houston, I mean, I like what Detroit did. Houston's actually pretty good. Houston, I don't hate the Houston combos. Like the red helmet, it might take a little getting used to, but I gotta say, those Houston helmets, the chrome, not bad, not too bad. But the Jets, when it comes to uniforms, the Jets are winning it completely. But hey, that's what the Jets usually win anyway, is the offseason.
How about while you leave that comment up there, can you put that comment back up there? I think it's funny that Nathan's YouTube logo is the color of the Broncos. Edit that shit, man. Come on. What are we doing, Nathan? I expect better from you, Nathan. Shame. Shame.
Rusty's got to go to sleep. All right, Rusty. Well, thanks so much for joining us, man. And make sure you got your rest for tomorrow.
Later, Rusty. Thank you for watching both of our shows tonight.
Yeah. It's going to be a crazy day for me tomorrow because I don't know if I told you, tomorrow is my last day at work at my current job after 6 years. And straight from there, it's off to AJ Gators for the draft party. 6 wings for $6 and 10 shrimp for $7.50. Got some good deals. And then right after that, I guess I'll be going home and recording a video recap. Don't know if I'll be going live because I'm guessing a lot of people will be live, but I'll definitely put up a recap tomorrow night. So as of right now, that is the plan. I don't know if I'll be able to go live this weekend, guys, since I do have family in town, but I will definitely try to put some content up each day for sure because, man, what a great weekend this is.
When does
Addison
that get
M? Yeah, I don't Nick, do you know Addison M? I don't think I've seen Addison before.
Addison just popped up into my channel before and I believe subscribed.
Right,
and then I said we were coming over here.
Great. Well, welcome, Addison. If you haven't subscribed yet, there would be a big help. I'm on the march to 900. I'm getting pretty close. So I can't wait to hit that 1,000 mark. It's going to be a good day when we do that. Jake, Jake, you can boil them, barbecue them, deep fry, stir fry. There's shrimp and potatoes, shrimp stew, shrimp sandwich, and that's about it.
My throat is itching just from this conversation.
You should see where I was tonight, but
when does your dad get here or there?
Yeah, he will arrive about 11:30 in the morning on Friday. So he takes the train from New Jersey down to Virginia because you can take the Northeast Corridor train down to Newport News. He's got to sit. They changed the schedule. He's got to leave 2 hours early, like at 3 in the morning or something, and sit in D.C. for 2 hours. It's like a 2-hour layover in D.C. I mean, oh my gosh. And typically during that, you don't have electricity, power, or lights or anything like that on the train. So that's rough. It used to be he could leave at 5. Now he's got to leave like 3 in the morning to get down here, or 2 in the morning. So, but yeah, he'll be coming down Friday. We're actually going to go on Saturday to the Admirals game. The Norfolk Admirals are in the playoffs for the first time in 10 years in the East Coast Hockey League, and they got a chance to close out their first round series against some team from Quebec that I can't pronounce. I can't pronounce French names. So I'll be going there with a bunch of the Virginia Jets fans. There'll be like 20 of us there on Saturday. And yeah, I think that'll be fun. We got like group tickets, like $22 each to go see a playoff game. I mean, pretty sweet deal at the Scope. So we'll be doing that on Saturday. That'll be fun.
Well, if you want Friday morning, if I don't pop on my own channel, maybe I'll go on Friday morning. If you want to come on with
Friday would work. Yeah, I could do some. I could do some on Friday for a little bit, maybe like 30, 45 minutes. I could do some on Friday morning. Let's do that.
Let's plan Friday morning at 10.
Yeah, I think I could do that.
All right. All right.
All right. Yep, you set it up, and I'll jump on.
Cool.
Ryan Jett lives 3 minutes from. That's right. Ryan Jett lives in Norfolk. Yeah, yeah. I'll be there Saturday. I'll probably be the only guy with a Norfolk Admiral shirt and a New York Rangers hat. So I'll be easy to spot. I can promise you that. All right. Yeah, Jake just drove in, guys. We'll do a mock in a few minutes. It's almost midnight already. I think we should just do a wheel mock tonight. Just make it a little crazy. I drove up to New York from Virginia Saturday. DC is over in the car. Yeah, that traffic between Fredericksburg and DC, you will hit traffic. It's crazy, but there's always traffic in frickin' Fredericksburg. I don't know why. I don't know what the appeal is about that town, but there's always traffic in there. And yeah, other than that, you just got to time it right. But yeah, I don't know. Maybe I'll be doing. I don't know what I'm gonna be doing. I mean, I could fly Raleigh to DC. I could take the train. I could go a couple of different ways, but we'll see what happens. All right, Rusty, thanks so much for joining us, man. You have a good rest of your night. I always appreciate you coming on and giving your insight and your own brand of humor, man. Much appreciated.
I hate him. He sucks.
Well, I feel the same way. All right.
He's horrible.
So
awful.
good cop, bad cop. That's what we do around here. All right.
Horrible takes. Horrible person.
Well, horrible takes on hockey. I will say.
Question for you. Feel free to say no. Just an idea. You want to do a full round one mock, going back and forth?
Ooh.
We kind of teased it before, doing the 10. You want to do something different than?
Guys, I'll tell you what. Let's put that to the chat. We got a nice little turnout here. Guys, would you like us to do a first round mock, or would you like us to just do a Jets first round mock?
First round sounds cool. Shampoo is better.
I will put you in timeout, boy.
Do you know the movie?
I don't think I was picking up on it. I thought you were just doing your thing.
Come on, people. Anyone in the chat? Jaden, what's up? Jaden says full. Billy Madison.
That was Billy Madison? Okay.
The shampoo is better. No, that conditioner.
I could have figured out Adam Sandler. That wasn't hard.
Stop looking at me, Adam.
David, either one is good. Blah, 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 blah. All right, I'll tell you what. Let's try a first round mock. It's something different. We have not prepped for this, guys. So yeah, I'm gonna have to. Yeah. So who knows how this one's gonna go? But what the heck, guys? We'll be doing mocks for a long time after this. So let's have a little fun tonight.
It's your last day of work tomorrow, man. Zero effort. What are they gonna do? Fire you? Walk in late, hungover.
Maybe I'll go in drunk tomorrow. I don't know. I have been so useless this week. It's been ridiculous. I think I've taken 2 phone calls, sent out 5 emails. I have been beyond useless this week.
Here's how you reply to every email. I will get back to you on Monday. I will get back to you on Monday. Call me Monday. Let's talk.
I will turn my out of office on for outside people so they know that I'm not there anymore. I am going to do that. All right, guys. We're going to do a mock.
I slept on I can't sit on these buses if I'm not driving them. Man, I slept like almost the entire trip. I wake up, go back to sleep. Wake up, go back to sleep. So I know I'm yawning, but I'm ready to rock.
Okay, I'm just getting the draft room loaded here. All right, enter solo draft. I'm selecting everybody. All right, so we got that going. All right, let's hit present, share screen, and allow. All right, that should come up in just one moment. Now, I think the way that this would go is I don't think we're going to get – let's see if we get any trade offers. This is going to be interesting, too, to see if something like that
you don't. If you have every team, there's no offers.
That's
you would have to do it yourself.
Yeah, that's a little bit too much work. All right, well, what would you like, odds or evens?
Your call, your show. You want the Jets or you don't want the Jets? It's up to you.
I'm good. All right, then I'm gonna take evens on this one. I'm gonna make the Jets pick.
All right, Caleb Williams.
Okay. Guys, you want any analysis from us? Now we've given you enough already. All right. So
when we get to some other picks, yeah, but this is a layup right now, these first.
Yeah, it's interesting. This website used to have like team needs and things like that. I think they kind of took that off. We could use that to cheat, but all right. With the command skins, I still think it's going to be Jaden Daniels. I just think they like him more than they like Drake May. We talked about it earlier. I think he's more ready to play, and Washington needs a quarterback who can come in right away and be their starter. And I think Daniels can do it. So I am going to draft Jaden Daniels to Washington.
Can you go to special teams for punter? Because that's going to be the most player
Absolutely.
on the
It
Patriots
is my
here.
honor.
I'll give them Ryan
Matt
Recco.
Hayball. I love it. Matt Hayball. That's a
You know
great
what?
name.
No, we'll go Austin McNamara because racist Boston always loves a super white name, and that sounds as white. And he's from Texas too. Yeah, it's Austin McNamara. That
Awesome.
sounds super white.
McNamara.
Uh,
I guarantee you Ryan Recco is white as well. I can assure, and he went to BYU. That's a whiter school. All right, we'll stop there. Have a good night, Curly. Thank you so much for joining us, man.
Yeah, good night, Curly. Let me see. Vegas always knows, right? And like Vegas has moved McCarthy to the favorite for the betting odds for number 3.
Yeah, I've seen that.
I think McCarthy's going to be a flop. So I'll give him to the Patriots because I hope he flops, and I think that's the perfect place for us for a guy to flop.
Okay.
And I just think that there's always remember Baker Mayfield the day of the draft shot to number 1, like he was like 4th, like Zach Rosen or Josh Rosen and Darnold were ahead of him, and Allen was ahead of him, and then the day of the draft, Mayfield went at 1:00. Like a tweet comes out, it's like I'm hearing Mayfield could be number 1 tonight. So I just think McCarthy's going to be that guy who jumps, and I think 3 is the highest you can jump. I don't think anyone's getting 1 or 2.
Yeah. Jake says I don't know why McCarthy is a thing right now. I
don't either.
It's hard to say. Maybe the fact that he came from a winning program and in that pro style offense. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, and teams are just desperate for a quarterback every year, every single year. We say there aren't really that many quarterbacks we're taking here, and then about 2 months before the draft, boom, they want this guy, they want this quarterback, this quarterback, this quarterback. It's the same cycle every year. So there's no need for any of us to ever be surprised by that because it's always going to be that way.
Yeah, there's always somebody who climbs, and he just seems like he's the one.
He is
catching on.
It's surprising to me that it's not Penix. I don't know if it's the fact that how their college teams did that has a lot to do with it, but yeah, Penix is a very, very intriguing prospect to say the least. But all right, McCarthy goes to the Patriots at 3, and number 4 is. I really want to cheat and drop Harrison in number 10. I swear to you, I do, but I can't. I would love to. But yeah, but
breaking news. He was found with meth and heroin.
Bong and meth and date rape drugs and and what's the one that's killing everybody right now? Everything's lit. Fentanyl. Yeah.
The Jets. The Jets are what's killing everyone. The drug.
Yeah, what's right? Yeah, no wonder people are all going down from the turf. There's fentanyl in the turf. All right, now, realistically, we got to give Marvin Harrison to the Cardinals because they've got their quarterback. There's really, to me, there's no place else that would make sense for them. So Harrison 4. All right, on to the Chargers, and you've got an interesting decision to make here, my friend.
GVH, the smoking is legal. That's why we had to plant meth and heroin on Marvin Harrison.
That's right.
Everyone laughs.
It'll all come out tomorrow morning. You watch. Yeah. Every year, this is what happens.
About 1:45 in the morning. That's usually when bad stories break, right?
That's about it. We have breaking overnight news.
I really like Daniel Jeremiah's thought process with it. Like, you have Latham, who is a right tackle, who is a more physical guy, and if you want to run the ball, maybe he does jump Alt. I think Alt isn't that Joe Thomas impressive, like Hall of Fame lock. If you want to have an identity where you beat the snot out of people, you take Latham. Now, I don't know if it'll be at 5. I think that would be a great swap for a team at number 10, and then they could still get Latham at 10. But without the trades, I'm going to go with Daniel Jeremiah. He swayed me with that mock. So
Latham
I'm going to
who?
put Latham there
Wow.
because I think he fits their identity more than Altwood. Now, again, I don't think it's at this 5, but I wouldn't be surprised if the Chargers trade back with the Bears or Jets at 9 or 10, or even the Colts, who have rumored to want to go up. And if
Okay.
Harrison's there at 5, the Colts could jump. The owner said it today. Irsay said, we are considering moving up from Marvin Harrison and bringing another Harrison to the Colt family.
All right. So it's going to be J.C. Latham as the first offensive lineman taken. He's going to the Chargers. All right. And now we go to number 6, and it is Little Boy Blue itself. All right. Well, let's pull the big board back up. Now, I don't think this is a situation where you need an offensive tackle. You've got Andrew Thomas on the left side. You could use a right tackle, however. So I don't think Alter Fashanu would make sense. You know what's interesting about this? The Giants could use some help in a lot of different places. I could see a situation. I guess what it really comes down to is how much they believe in Daniel Jones. They have to keep him for this year, and then they can work on possibly getting out of his contract. A lot of people are projecting Malik Neighbors or Rome Odunze, and it makes a lot of sense. But I personally think the Giants are going to look to draft their quarterback of the future. And I don't think they would have expected Drake May to make it to number 6. But he has. And I think that Joe Shane pounces on it and drafts Drake May, 6th overall, to the Giants. Joe Alt. Yep, no explanation needed, unfortunately.
No.
All right. Now, as far as Atlanta goes, their offense is absolutely loaded to me. This has to be a defensive pick. If they don't go defense, I don't know what they're doing here. So I'm pulling up the defensive board here. All right. And there are a number of places that we could go here. I got to tell you, I like Terrion Arnold a lot. But I think with this many edge rushers, this is where they're going to go first. And to me, Dallas Turner is the player to target. So that is who I'm going to give them at number 8. And you're up. You get to pick for the Bears again.
They can't pass on Neighbors. I know there's Fashanu and Williams.
They've got more. They've got Komet. They've got Allen. They got some. Well, they got weapons. It's tough. I know.
I'm a big believer of if you draft a young quarterback, give him every chance to succeed. And having Neighbors learn how to be an NFL receiver from Keenan Allen. I know they got weapons, but I just don't think you can pass on the talent with Keenan Allen being 34. And having Keenan Allen teach Neighbors how to be a route runner and how to be a pro, I don't think you can pass on that.
Sluggo, here's what I would say. I think their defense last year had 30 sacks. That's the second least in the league, and that was with Montez Sweat for part of the year. I think they need to build up the defensive line. If it was me, that's what I would do. So Nick, you want to go? Did you say Neighbors is where you want to go?
I mean, Keenan Allen's old. You know, if you're gonna you want this kid to succeed for the future, you give him DJ Moore and Neighbors as your receivers with Cole Kmet at tight end. You got a good young core of weapons.
Could you imagine Bowers and Kmet hypothetically in Chicago as a 2 tight end offense?
I could. I literally debated Neighbors, Fashanu, and Bowers here.
Man. Yeah.
I think maybe the Bears trade out of here if we had trades because they know they could bump back, and maybe somebody looking to jump the Jets, maybe somebody like the Bills who could say, you know what, we are going to jump now that receivers are falling. You don't know. But no trades. Give me Neighbors.
Wild Wave, yes. Fasha Gatanu is still there. The Trinity is still there of Fasha Gatanu. All right. So it's going to be Neighbors. Is that your final pick?
I don't think they can pass on that player if he's there at 9.
All right. There you go. All right, and then we get to the Jets at number 10, and they've certainly got options. You could go with the offensive tackle, Olufashanu, and put in that tackle to sort of develop behind Tyron Smith, because God knows the Jets have one-year plans at tackle right now. You can't count on Warren. You can't count on Mitchell. Tigo, how you doing? How you doing, man? Chris Bradigan says we'll definitely get the Daily Herald writing WA2K. The Daily Herald is the newspaper I wrote at for 10 years when I was living in Chicago. That's pretty funny. Nice. Actually, I found a bunch of my articles when I was putting stuff away, and I scanned them all into my computer. I found like 30 articles I printed out over the years. It's crazy stuff. Awesome. All right, enough about that. Brock Bowers is still there. We've been over this again and again. You've got Roma Dunze. You've got Talise Fuaga. There are so many places that you could go. Sluggo says trade down Wicker nuts. We're not proposing trades here. We're just going 1 through 32. And since we're every team, we can't make a trade. No, we're not getting trade offers. Even though I really like the idea of the developmental tackle, I think you could still get one a little bit later on. I'm going to pass on Fashanu. I just have a little bit worse feeling about him than I have. The idea of Garrett Wilson plus Roma Dunze really excites me. And Mike Williams, that is one of the best 1-2-3 combinations in the NFL. And then I still think with like a Ty Conklin, with Breece Hall, Jeremy Ruckert, you have more than enough weapons for Rodgers. So I think I want to add that second young receiver on. I'm picking Roma Dunze for the Jets at number 10.
Give me Penix to the Vikings.
Penix to the Vikings. Okay. So at this point, guys, we have, I don't want to do that. So far, we have drafted 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 quarterbacks in the top 11. Will another one go? Well, we look at the Denver Broncos, and to be honest, I can't really do anything but give them a quarterback. I got to give them Bo Nix right now at number 12 because, God forbid, their quarterback room this year is Zach Wilson, Jarrett Stidham, and Ben DiNucci. On to the Raiders.
I'm looking for red. Where does it say their positional needs? Well, I know they need a quarterback, but I'm not going to give them a quarterback here.
I don't think positional needs are here anymore, are they? They used to be. I mentioned that earlier. I don't think they have them.
All right.
I could try to find it. Let me see if I can find it online someplace. I'll see.
Don't worry about it. Don't worry about it.
Yeah.
It's no knock on Fashanu. I just think Fuaga is a better fit for them with that Raider mold.
I'll just give them to you. Okay, I'm just gonna give this to you. See if it helps you at all. 13 Raiders' biggest needs: quarterback, cornerback, tackle, wide receiver, interior offensive line.
I'll go Fuaga. I think that the Raiders. Fuaga? I think he fits that Raider mold. That's. Okay.
All right. So to me, with the Saints, there's only one place you could go. Ryan Ramczyk has knee issues. He's not expected to play this year. Trevor Penning is not looking like he is going to work out as a first-round pick from a couple of years ago. You could go with defensive line because they've really turned a whole lot of things over. But to me, Olufashanu makes all the sense here for the Saints. I don't think there's any way he's going to get past them at 14. On to the Colts.
Bowers.
Oh, yeah, he's still there. All right, Brock Bowers to the Colts.
Oh, thanks, big fella. That was a lot of fun, man. Glad you enjoyed it. Thanks for the super chats again, bro. That was a great time.
All right.
Appreciate it very much, sir.
Okay, the Seattle Seahawks. I'm trying to think what they could use. I feel like they need some help in the defense, especially with the front seven. And I think their interior offensive lineman was not all that great. Fatanu actually is an interesting. So is Barton. I still think of Fatanu as more of a guard at this point. I'm going to go over the defense. I'm going to need a second on this. Johnny Newton, Byron Murphy are there. Latu verse, they're there too. Not going to go linebacker here. Let's see. They did pick up Jerome Baker in the linebackers. I know they did that. They did resign Leonard Williams. I think they got to address the defensive line a little bit. So I'm going to look and see. Johnny Newton.
They need all three levels on defense. They need edge, they need linebacker, they need safety, they need guard.
Yeah, guard as well.
They could do a corner as well.
I've got it. Yeah, they do have Witherspoon. I think they
it's
can
amazing that a team that gave up 2 first rounds, a third, and a safety for a safety need a safety. That's just
good Lord
getting fleeced.
It seems like the Seahawks, when they make good moves, they're great. When they make bad moves, they stink. There's no in between with Seattle. I think I want to add an edge rusher. I think Latu looks like a pretty good fit. I'm going to give him the Seahawks. There we go. All right.
My favorite NFL analyst, Brian Baldinger, says Latu is the best defensive player in the draft. He just said it the other day.
Nice. All right, on to Jacksonville. What are we going to do at pick number 17, my friend?
Quinyon Mitchell, who I think is the best corner. Give him Mitchell.
They definitely need, they need some corner help, that's for sure. All right, now with the Cincinnati Bengals, well, they lost Jonah Williams. T. Higgins, who knows what's going to happen? Trey Hendrickson, who knows what's going to happen? There's a number of ways you could go with this team. I'm going to pull up the big board here. They did sign Trent Brown, but he's injured a lot. Mims interests me. Arnold interests me as well. They lost DJ Reader. I'm going to go, I think Johnny Newton. I'm feeling Newton, Mims, and Arnold. I feel like all of them would be really good fits for the Bengals. I think I got enough faith in the Cincy offense for Burrow coming back from injury. Boy, oh boy, oh boy. Yeah, I think you can't really count on Brown and you lost Williams. I want to get a piece in there on the offensive line. I want to build that up. I'm going to put Amarius Mims. Hadn't played a whole lot, but the tape he does have looks quite good. So let's put Amarius Mims on the Bengals. Number 18. On to the Rams, who shockingly have a first-round pick.
Yeah. You lose Aaron Donald, you go take a defensive tackle the next year. And it's tough shoes to fill, but my opinion, Byron Murphy is the best defensive tackle. And I think that's somebody who could play that Aaron Donald role. Not saying he will be Aaron Donald, who, in my opinion, is the best defensive player ever. But you got to get somebody who can penetrate and get upfield.
Yep, and the Rams have 11 picks in this year's draft, by the way. So, yeah, they will have plenty of opportunities to retool that roster, which they will sorely need to do. Okay.
Wouldn't it be great if they traded out of the first round and then don't make the pick again?
I need Payo Times live reaction to that. I can tell you for sure. All right, Pittsburgh. All right, so they are number 20. This is going faster than I expected. That's what she said.
Nice. So, well done, man. You're getting so good at that. Also what she said.
All right, so definitely need some help on offensive line. I think we could say that. I like this description. They need a receiver to push Van Jefferson and Denzel Mims for snaps. Oh, my God. That is horrifying. Wow, pushing Denzel Mims for snaps. I can't believe that that's true. Okay. I think they're pretty good in the secondary. I don't know about edge rush. No, they're fine on I like them up front in the front seven. I feel like you gotta do something to help this offense. Tanu could. I'm really between. Actually, 3 players would make a lot of sense here. Fatanu, Thomas, and Barden. I feel like, the thing with Graham Barden and Fatanu are both like the Swiss Army knives. They could play pretty much any position you would want them to. And there's hardly a position where the Steelers could use help on the offensive line. I'm very tempted to give them Brian Thomas. but I think I got to go with an offensive lineman here. I just like Graham Barton because he's got a little bit of a longer track record of success. I'm going to go Graham Barton to the Pittsburgh Steelers with number 20. On to the Dolphins, on to the Fish.
They're soft as fuck. They got to get tougher. They got to get stronger in the trenches. I'm going to give them Troy Fatano.
Troy Fatano. All right, going to help the offensive line, which they could certainly use. All right, Philadelphia Eagles. I think they need some help in the secondary more than anything.
Yeah, PFF has them as wide receiver, linebacker, DB.
Wide receiver, linebacker, DB. Yeah, maybe a third wide receiver. They could wait to take a wide receiver. There'll be plenty of those left. To me, you got to go secondary. To me, it's either Arnold or Wiggins. I just happen to like Arnold a lot. I think that'd be a fine fit at number 22. There we go. Now we go to the Minnesota Vikings with, I believe that would be their second first-round pick.
I gave them Penix earlier, right?
Yeah, I believe you gave them Penix. You did at number 11, so you get to pick them twice. Yeah.
QB, they got tight end, not worth taking. Guard, D line, or DB.
Any position you want me to pull up?
Nope. Give them Cooper DeJean.
It's going safety. Okay.
They've enjoyed Harrison Smith there for many years, a guy who can cover, a guy who can come up, make plays everywhere. And I think that's just a guy who can do it all. Yeah, Nathan, I just saw your questioning. Yeah, I wanted to give them No, I'm good. DeJean. Yeah, it's there. Good.
Right. Well, I picked him anyway, so I hope you're good with him.
Yeah.
All right. I feel like with the Cowboys, you could go a lot of different directions. They're very good in certain positions, but they need some depth at a lot of spots. They lost a lot of veterans. Smith, Pollard, Tyler Biadasz, Hankins, Vander Esch, Gallup, and I think the only free agent they signed was Eric Kendricks, the linebacker. So, there's a number of if there was a running back who I felt was worthy of this spot, I'd probably go there. But to me, there just isn't.
Yeah. Hey, good night.
I think they're gonna go. They're gonna look. Let's see. Let's pull up the overall thing. I don't really think they need an edge rush. I think they're gonna go wide receiver. I think they need somebody on. Who do they have besides CeeDee Lamb at this point at wide receiver? Who am I forgetting?
Michael Gallup.
Gallup left. Gallup was a free agent. He's gone.
Who was it? Brandon Cooks?
He's still, was he 35?
Is Gallup gone?
Yeah, Gallup left. Yeah, Gallup's gone. Yeah. To me, I think you need another weapon.
Only throws to one guy anywhere.
Yeah. I'm gonna go with Brian Thomas, playing down deep in the heart of Texas.
I love that pick because now he's not a
Bill.
Bill.
That's right. All right, on to the green and gold, on to the Packers. Wonderful fans that they have, or so we thought.
Oh, you never see the best of somebody when you take their love.
Accurate.
Man, I know they got a good secondary. Throw Johnny Newton in the middle of that defense and have some fun.
Ooh, I think that's
you got your offensive weapons together. You got your young quarterback. You got a great secondary. Go put a fucking wrecking ball in the middle of that defense. Johnny, they've had that one guy there for years. Who's the D lineman that they've had for years? His name's
the defensive lineman.
Yeah.
Oh, they've had so many that were there for a while, but I'm thinking like the old days.
Go ahead, I'll pull it up.
I'm thinking like Gilbert Brown. That's how far back I'm going. Oh man! All right, well, I'll go over to Tampa Bay here. Now they did lose Mike Evans, or that they kept Mike Evans. Excuse me. Offensive line's going to make some changes, but I think they need some help on the defensive side of the ball. They lost some players there, especially in the front seven. So I think they're going to need a replacement there. And you got Jared Verse and you've got Chop Robinson. And to
Kenny
me,
Clark is who I was thinking about. Kenny Clark.
oh, Kenny Clark. Okay. Yeah, I like both of these. I think both of these guys are fine. I'm not intimately familiar with one versus the other.
Well, I should hope not.
Yeah. Well, there you go. Because we don't need a whole lot of edge in the first round. I'm going to go with Jared Verse from Florida State.
No, I meant
Tampa
you
Bay,
being
look at the hometown guy. The Cardinals are back again. I'm sorry to say. So obviously, we took Marvin Harrison Jr.
I thought this guy was gone. That's who I was going to give to Minnesota. I thought you took him and I missed it. Easy. Arizona, Jackson Powers Johnson.
JPJ the center. All right. So you're adding JPJ and Jonah Williams to that offensive line. So that's definitely.
I don't think he gets past that Pittsburgh, Philly, Miami cluster. I thought he did. I didn't know that this site has him ranked that low. That's what I was looking for when I took Dejan. I was like, oh, I must have not paid attention when you picked. Right. But I'm like, oh, no, he's here. Yeah, right. Give him there.
Yeah, so I get the Bills, and there's no doubt we're going wide receiver. Now, if it was me, I know which one of these receivers I would want, who I think is like that, because you need that outside receiver in my mind. And I love Lamb McConkey's great, but he's a slot guy. Right now they have what? Khalil Shakir. I'm trying to think who else. I mean, Andy Isabella. Guys on that level. Oh, and they signed your guy. They signed your boy.
Oh, Curtis Samuel.
Right. Okay, so Xavier Worthy, very, very fast, 5'11", 165. He hasn't really fit. Adonai Mitchell, though, 6'2", 205, I think would make sense. I'm tempted to go Keon Coleman as well. I know a lot of people he's been kind of falling a little bit. I'm good. Yeah, I mean, I normally would have gone Coleman, but I think he's going to drop a little bit. And right now, Mitchell seems to be sort of like the darling of a lot of people. But I love Xavier Leggett from South Carolina. I just don't expect him to go in the first round. But I am going to go with Adonai Mitchell to the Buffalo Bills at 28. And now it's on to the Detroit Lions. Let's pull up the big board for you.
Something that no one's ever seen. Me wearing a hat forward.
Oh, my gosh.
Lions, guard, edge, cornerback.
Edge corner, yep, for sure. Definitely defense.
I love Chop Robinson, but put Nate Wiggins here.
Nate Wiggins. I'll tell you what, I thought you would have gone edge because they could use – I know they signed Marcus Davenport, but he's getting a little bit older. They lost the Aquaras, I believe it is. They lost both of them. And, of course, you have Hutchinson, but I feel like I don't know if Davenport is that second pass rusher anymore. But, okay, yeah, but cornerback definitely makes sense. All right, Nate Wiggins to the Lions at 29. All right, now I've got the Ravens. Now, they lost both their starting guards, and they lost their right tackle. Ronnie Stanley's entering a contract year. So, to me, most likely, we're looking somewhere on the offensive line. Okay. All right. I see that. Man, is Chop really going to fall out of this thing? I think I would go. I like Kingsley Sumate, but I'm going to go with Tyler Guyton. He's a little bit raw, but I think that's somebody that you could develop a little bit for a year. Hadn't played a lot, but he's shown some good capability when he has. And I think 1 year behind Ronnie Stanley would work well for him, and maybe you could even move him over to the right side if he does well enough. So maybe start him on the right side, see what happens. It's been done before. You could do it again. So I'm going to go Tyler Guyton to the Baltimore Ravens at 30.
Okay. 49ers.
What do they need?
Guard, tackle, cornerback.
Yeah, okay.
I mean, I could see them trading back to somebody wanting to jump up into late round one tomorrow, and just taking the second round pick because they can get some players there that fit them nicely. Um, man, I'm gonna go with a surprise pick, and I'm not gonna go with what they have here at guard, tackle, corner. I'm going with a guy who I think gets picked in round one. He might get picked before here, but I just can't have him not make round one. You got Debo, who does it all. You got Ayuk. You got George Kittle. You got McCaffrey. You want to take this offense to another level, go get them something that they don't have. Give them Lad McConkey. Now who are you going to cover?
Who are we going to cover?
Kittle and McConkey work in the middle with Debo and then Ayuk.
You know, I was strongly considering Lad McConkey with pick 32 for the Chiefs. I'm not gonna kid you about that. All right. Well, they did trade, I guess, with the Chiefs.
That would be a nice matchup too.
Yeah, it would. They did trade Snead. So part of me wants to look at cornerback, and Kool-Aid is still there.
That'd be great value. That would be such a fucking Chiefs thing to get him.
Yeah, it would. Just like Creed Humphrey. It's just like, they just do what makes sense. What a concept.
And Smith, too. Smith felt around 5 or 6. And that was before
Trey Smith. Yeah, you're right.
Shows together. And I was going nuts on every group that I was in about getting Humphrey and Smith for the Jets that year. And now I got to watch Kansas City and my daughter celebrate that team.
Ugh, the pain. The wide receiver to me is also a question as well, especially with the issues Rashee Rice is going through. And behind him, what do you really have? Sky Moore, Kadarius Toney, a soon-to-be out of the league, McCole Hardman. Just saying. You could go with the burner in Worthy. You could go with the size in Keon Coleman. Or you could go with the cornerback in Kool-Aid McKinstry, and pretty much all of those picks would make sense. I think you need a little bit of help for this defense.
Yeah?
I think so. So I'm going to go with Kool-Aid McKinstry at 32, and that's going to end our first round.
All right. Why don't we do 10 o'clock on my channel Friday morning? Okay. We'll do a speed. We'll do round 2 and 3.
Oh, you know what? I could. Yeah, I could. So you want me to leave this? We'd have to do it over. I get it. We could do a pick because the first round will be done.
The first round. Yeah, these apps all update. These apps will update and lock in round 1. So then Friday morning we can do a round 2 and 3 mock.
I like it. Yeah, I think that sounds like fun.
All right, so we'll do that Tuesday morning, guys, on my channel, Proud NYJ Fan. Make sure you're subbed, and Adam and I will do a dueling one.
Ooh. Yep, that sounds like a plan to me. All right,
dueling?
So
it's not dueling when you're doing it together, alternating, right? An alternating mock.
Yeah, the alternating mock was pretty good.
Dueling would be my mock versus your mock. This is just alternating.
Yeah, it'll be faster. It'll be easier. Yeah, I think that's the best way to do it. All right. Well, I think it's so it's almost 12:30 in the morning. Guys, can you believe we are less than 24 hours from the draft when the speculation will finally start to become reality? Thank the Lord that we have arrived. That's all I can tell you.
It's after midnight.
It's draft day. Happy draft day, everybody! Jets Mess wants me to spin the wheel.
I was going to say.
I swear I just heard thunder outside. Wow, that was loud.
No, I have gas. I've been eating healthy with protein stuff, so I'm gassy. You may have heard. When I sit up like this, I'm letting it out. It's a little tell for everyone.
On a side note, so I'm part of the Yelp Elite group with Yelp.com, right? So I've been in that club for 13 years now, and we went to this place today called Super Chicks. Not that kind of chicken place. I had to set that up for you. I know.
Next on the stage for the shower, we got Super Chicks.
And yet I was still here yet I still came on time. Anyway.
That's what she said.
Thank you. So They brought out so much freaking food: chicken sliders, chicken tenders, 8 kinds of chicken sandwiches, 3 boxes of French fries, like rosemary, Cajun, and plain fries. 3 different salads, like a buffalo salad, a Mandarin, like Asian salad. After all this was done, it became cups of frozen custard, like vanilla, chocolate, mint, Oreo, Reese's peanut butter cup. I mean, oh my God. I don't even know how I'm up right now. I'm awake right now. That should have put me in the biggest food coma of all freaking time. But man, that was some good food. And like 8 dipping sauces. Oh, it was so good. That was some good food, but it wasn't healthy.
You made me think when I did the strip club joke. One of my favorite things back in the day, like I haven't been to a strip club, I think since 2019. It was pre-COVID. Um, Breathless in Broadway, New Jersey, at midnight did the free buffet at midnight, and they would bring out garlic bread, and they would bring out penne noodles, and they would bring out like Swedish meatballs. And like if you were drinking, like I would just go take like 10 pieces of garlic bread, and everyone would be like, "What are you doing?" I'm like, leave me alone. I'm starving. And then I would like take the dollar and wipe it on the girl to get the grease off my hands. It's good times.
And you probably had so much garlic on you, it probably took a lot for them to get near you. Oh my God.
Good. That was good.
But
they don't care. They
if
don't
the
care.
garlic bread's good enough, who cares? Yeah.
Yeah, they don't care what people smell like or look like. It's just the color green is all that matters.
Just like here, the color green is what matters. That's exactly right.
Nice.
All right, bro. Well, let's.
What type of wheel are we doing? Top 10?
Oh, well, let me see. I think I can pull one back up. I kind of like doing the. We could do. Let me go back over to it.
I'll hang out for the 100 wheel. Anything else, you'll go solo. I'll hang out for the 100 wheel.
All right, we'll do 100. All right, we'll do a 100 wheel tonight. All right, sounds good. All right. All right, guys. So you know what's about to happen. We are going to spin the wheel. So let me share the screen. So
I gotta get water real quick.
Okay, no problem. All right. So while Nick is gone, many of you I know have been here before for the wheel, and we are going to spin it tonight. So we got 100 New York Jets on this wheel. We've got great Jets. We've got good Jets. We've got meh Jets. We've got suck-ass Jets. We got the entire realm covered. The entire spectrum has been reached. So we are going to spin the wheel 10 times. And it is your job, the chat's job, along with Nick and I, to rank them in a top 10 list. We rank them as we go. So if we land on, say, Joe Namath, you're probably going to put him at number 1 or number 2. If we land on Christian Hackenberg, you want to put him most likely at number 10 and no place else. And at the end of our 10 spins, well, we're just going to see if we have a list that goes in order from best jet to worst jet. That is our objective tonight. And so now we're just going to wait for Nick to come back. But while we're doing that, just want to read a few chats, just see what's going on. Jets Mess says, thank you for the wheel. You are welcome, my friend. Tigo is saying good night. Thank you, buddy, for stopping by. Dude, I know you're excited for the draft too, man. I love it. All right. Yep, assist. Yep, it's wheel time, my man. Yeah, you guys came through tonight big. I appreciate everybody's support with the likes. Much, much appreciated. Nick, get your water. Anyway. Oh gosh, yeah. I'm afraid I don't have any strip club stories for anybody tonight. I will not have those for you. I was a little too sheltered, I guess, but that's all right. Okay. All right, yeah, maybe I'll update a couple of the names on the wheel after this one. I always try to switch a few names in and out just to keep it fresh, but yeah, this will be good. I think, and if I think I've already mentioned this, but I think what we'll probably do is I'll do a video when I get home on Thursday night. Then I'll be on with Nick on Friday when we do the. Oh, here he comes. When we do the mock draft, and yeah, I will definitely spit some content out over the course of the weekend between the Rangers, the Knicks, the draft, all kinds of cool stuff coming up. All right, Nick, are you hydrated?
I am, and I got a bunch of American cheese, yellow American cheese,
a bunch of American cheese. Okay. I am out of water. All right, very good. All right, so I've already explained the wheel and how it's going to work. So, and remember, guys,
Tim
before each
Tebow. Tim
spin,
Tebow. Tim Tebow.
yeah, before each spin, just like Nick is doing, you can predict who you think we are going to land on. Now, you got to put down what player you're predicting before each and every spin, and if you get it right, you can pick whatever number you want that player to be. So if you guess it right early, you got the full range of picks 1 through 10. All right, so we're going to give everybody a moment to put their predictions down in the chat. Like Assist wants to pick Curtis Martin. Nick, of course, has gone with the great Tim Tebow. I'm going to go with Chris Ivory.
Oh, nice one.
Running back. David D wants to go with Kyle Clifton. Chris Bradigan going with a 7. He didn't give us a player, but he gave us a number.
Ken O'Brien. He's obviously
Ken O'Brien, Tom
Tupa.
Ben Graham. Nathan goes with Christian Hackenberg. Chris, I'm not sure what you're taking, but I can tell you it's working. All right. Ryan Jett goes Jericho Cotchery. Okay. All right, guys, let us do our first spin of the night, and let's spin that wheel.
I changed mine to Braxton Berrios.
Braxton Berrios, stellar. In 3, no whammies. 2, 1, spin.
Watch it be Tebow because I moved off.
It's coming to a stop on. Oh God! Oh, that was very close, but it is on Darrelle Revis, one of the greatest New York Jets of all time, Hall of Famer, Ring of Honor member. Unfortunately, left us to go to play with Satan himself, but did come back at the end.
No, you word that the right way.
Well,
we traded him away to Tampa.
We traded him, and he's still signed there. All right, chat. Well, it's your call. Where should we rank Darrelle Revis on this list? He can inspire a little bit of reaction. I mean, we love him, but it's like that one little thing that bothers us, you know. But definitely one of the best picks in Jets history.
It don't bother me. It don't bother me. We traded him away. That should bother people more, in my opinion. We traded him to Tampa.
Nick, where would you put him on the list?
I would put him at 1 because the only Jets that I can put above him are Martin and Klecko. I have him above Namath in terms of quality of play. I know Namath won the ring, but in terms of player, nobody was better than Darrelle Revis as a Jet except Klecko and Martin. So at the odds of those two, it's a 2% chance, less than 2% chance now that Revis is off that they come out on the board. I'll put him at 1.
Sluggo goes with a 5. Man, tough. Sluggo's a tough grader. David D with a 3. Chris Bradigan with a 3.
Wow.
Yep. Yeah, tough.
Right.
We got
I'm the only one saying 1.
Nobody else has said 1. You're the only.
My suicide. Wait, we're gonna have Freeman McNeil at 1.
I would put who else? I would put Winston Hill at 1. More Pro Bowls than any other Jet, so I would put him there as well. Namath, you could at least make the argument. I know you said that you felt Revis was a better player, and that is totally fine. But you could make the argument. To me, it's at least debatable. So there aren't many people, so I can make the argument to put him at number 1. Mm-hmm. But yeah, the chat's speaking.
If I can just interject with the chat.
Yeah.
Remember, there are a lot of dog shit on this wheel. There's like 8 elite Jets. There's 20 mediocre Jets. There's 20 above average Jets. And there's 50 piles of shit. So the odds of us getting 2 players out of the 3 that we've mentioned between Namath, Klecko, and Martin to put them at 3, you got to play the odds of the wheel as well. That has to factor into it.
Could you ever put Gastineau hypothetically above Revis?
No.
Yeah, I don't know if I could either.
No. He's not in the Hall of Fame. He doesn't deserve to be in the Hall of Fame. No.
Well, I think there's also reasons why he wasn't. I think it's the way he conducted himself and the way he quit. Damn, we got a storm. Nick, quit farting already. Oh my God.
Oh, what? No, that wasn't me.
More thunder.
I told you when I sit up and lean, that's when it does it.
All right. Scott Foster is the only one going with 1, but most of the group is going 2, guys. It's all right. Darrelle Revis will be our number 2 on this list. All right.
And one more year, he'll be number 2 as the best corner we've ever had. Sauce throws up another All-Pro, and you can have that argument.
Oh, I thought you were going to say Brandon Eccles, but okay, I'll go with it. All right, here we go.
Tom Brady.
Yes, he did. He did. All right, so spin number 2. All right, I am going to say, you know what? I think we're going to go ahead and get Curtis Martin because why not? I think we're going to get some good players tonight.
We're going dog shit. I'm going to go dog shit here and go Denzel Mims.
Denzel Mims. Okay. David D's going with Wayne Corbett. All right. Assist says, give me Vernon here. Give me Vernon Golston.
Dane, I can use Hall of Fame because he's in the Hall of Fame for being a Jet. His prime was as a Jet. He had 1 year in Tampa and 1 year in New England. So I can use it because his resume to be in the Hall of Fame was as a Jet. That might not be the case for everybody, but with Revis, I believe it is.
All right, we got Bryce Petty. We got Mark Sanchez. Yeah, did I Bryce? Yeah, man, I thought I got rid of Bryce Petty, but I guess he's still hanging around. I guess I can't get rid of Bryce Petty unless he just threw a name out. Sheldon Richardson. Okay. All right, let's spin the wheel. Spin number 2 in 3, 2, 1. And it's coming to a stop on, oh my goodness, look who it is. It's Joe Namath.
4.
Wow.
4.
Wow. I don't think anybody mentioned Namath for the second spin, though. So
no, we picked Mark Sanchez and Bryce Petty at quarterback, but
we did, yeah, and we had Corbett. I said Curtis, but yeah, we did get the Super Bowl MVP. Not saying he deserved to be the MVP over Matt Snell, but he was the Super Bowl MVP and definitely one of the leaders of the team. So yeah, Dane said 6. Okay. I think in this case, it's, Jetsmith says 1. Nathan Colgrove says 1. Assist says 1 as well. I think either way, Namath or Revis, you could have them 1, 2, either order, and you could make an argument either way.
I'm going to say 5 because the way he conducted himself with Susie Colbert with that woo-hoo, I want to kiss you. Yeah, woo-hoo, like he was on TRL. Horrible moment. Not wanting to kiss Susie because she was in her prime back then, but the woo-hoo is the reason.
Scott Foster says behind Ken O'Brien. Okay. Yeah. Dane with a good point. I'd rather have Revis over Namath, but championship. Yeah, I mean, it was just, that was the way they played back then. It was he was like the original Brett Favre with that gunslinging mentality. That really was the way that he played. So interceptions were just part of it. They were like long punts sometimes. They were very, very and then eventually they became because of injuries. And, he was just doing what he could. He was really tough to play through the injuries he played through. I mean, his knees were supposed to be gone like in college. So I got to give him some credit for that too. All right. So right now, I think we're leaning. Yeah, we're definitely leaning towards the ones. And to me, I don't think we're. Yeah, it would be pretty difficult to beat Namath and Revis. So, yeah, I think I got to put Namath. I mean, I know that Yeti said 5. I know you said 5 as well. Yeah, I feel like most people are saying 1, but I feel like there's enough negative comments to where I could make it a 3 as well,
Nah, put him at 1.
All right, Joe Namath will be number 1.
As much as I love chaos on the wheel, I would have preferred a Revis 1, Namath 2, like I said earlier, but fuck it, let's rock.
Okay. I had to do the index finger there for him running off the finger being word number 1. Okay. All right, guys.
Robbie
What, Robbie Anderson?
Chosen ass, whatever his name is.
Yeah, Chosen Anderson, right, yeah. I'm going to go Braylon Edwards. All right, Braylon Edwards. All right, chat, let me see your predictions. We got Corbett. We've got Mo Lewis. We've got Geno Smith. We've got Curtis Martin. I'll tell you what, we've had so many good spins. We're bound to get some crappy ones any moment now. There's no way we can't. All right. All right, guys. Let's. All right, we got a few guesses in there. Oh, Jay Samaro, Aaron Glenn. Okay, got a few more guesses. Okay, here we go. Let's do spin number 3. In 3, 2, 1.
I'm
Round
still
and round
shocked.
it goes.
Tomorrow was such a fucking flop.
And we're coming to a stop. Well, right up our alley. We get a kicker involved, and it's our hero, Nick Folk, one of the best kickers that the Jets have ever had. In my mind, maybe the best kicker the Jets ever had. Look at his field goal percentage compared to Pat Leahy. It's not Leahy, as they used to say on Mike and the Mad Dog, he was a compiler. He was a compiler. He was around for many years. Okay. He was around. He made all these kicks, but he was never the best kicker at any time. How many big kicks did he make for the Jets? He was a compiler. Okay. So Nick Folk, to me, good Jet, solid Jet, to me deserves to be around the middle of the board. For sure. To me, I would put him right in the middle. Like if we were to make him a 5, I'd be pretty good with that. Nick, let's have your thoughts, and then I'll take a look at what the chat is saying about Nick Folk.
8.
8?
Yeah.
Is this? Tell me why an 8. It's interesting.
I don't know. I'm not. It's a kicker. It's not John Hall, so there's no love for me.
That's right. He's John Hall. That's right. Fair point.
But I will say that. Hold on, let me adjust this mic. Bring this down a bit.
Yeah, we got a couple of 6s, couple of 4s as well. Sluggo says he's an effing kicker. Yeah, but he was a good effing kicker too.
Yeah, but still a kicker.
Not named John Hall.
Yeah, but that's like if you win a medal at the Special Olympics, at the end of the day, you're still retarded. It's like being a kicker in the NFL. That's an old joke. I know this.
Guys, write Nick, don't write me.
I'm hoping at 12:30 in the morning we don't have the PC crowd up here. I apologize.
Yeah. It's like being the one-legged man in an ass-kicking contest. Okay.
Yeah, there you go. Well, kicking is perfect. That's a good analogy with the kicker.
I hope my new employer doesn't find out about my channel ever. All right.
I'm thinking 7 or 8 because it's a kicker.
All right.
I mean, a good kicker is a 7 or 8 on a list, right? Like,
if
a bad kicker is a 9. A Doug Bryan is a 9 or 10.
Hypothetically, if we were doing a Ravens wheel and we got Justin Tucker, would we be putting him at a 7 or an 8? Hypothetically. I know that's an extreme example, but I'm just saying a kicker doesn't always have to be down on that level.
I would say 7 or 8, like for a kicker.
Okay. All right. We had a few 4s, had some 6s, had a 7. I said a 5.
I mean, he did he ever kick for a playoff game?
He had the game winner in Indianapolis. The wild card game. I was there for that game. So that's one example.
All right.
It's like an even mixes of 4s, 6s, and 7s. So
I'll be honest with you. I completely forgot that Folk was the kicker for the playoff team. I'll be completely honest with you.
Okay. All right. That's okay. All right. I'll tell you what. I'm going to make Nick Folk a 6. I think that's a fair compromise here. Yeah. Because I think we're gonna get a few lousy ones coming up here too.
I honest to God forgot he was the kicker for the playoff game. So yes, I'll move up to a 6.
Okay. All right. See, we can make we can make it happen. Nick Folk's one of those players you want to get on the wheel when you have like 3 spots left or so, not the third pick of your wheel.
Now we watch the wheel be the wheel and deliver chaotic name after chaotic name.
The wheel is like, don't you mock me. I'm coming for you. All right. Spin number 4. Yeah, I don't think we're going to get we're just doing pretty well right now. I'm going to say I'm feeling a good Jet. I'm going to go Aaron Glenn.
I'm going to go John Hall, and then the great debate takes place.
Well, wouldn't that be perfect?
I hope we get 3 kickers. I hope it's Doug Bryan. I hope it's John Hall. And I think that's it.
I don't know if I put Leahy on here. The only other kicker I would have considered was Leahy, but I think I had removed him. No, Leahy's on there. Yeah, Leahy's on there in the around 1 o'clock on the wheel right now. All right. Let's see.
I'm going Randy Rasmussen.
Randy Rasmussen. Nice one. All right. Corbett, Zach Wilson, Kyle Brady, Boozer, Curtis Martin, Eric McMillan, Mo Lewis. I mentioned so many names I can barely remember who I said. Oh my gosh. All right, here we go. Let's spin the wheel in 3, 2, 1.
Yeti, pick someone else. No current players.
Yep, spin number 4 comes to a stop on an absolute turd in Greg Van Rotten.
This is what I love about the wheel. The amount of dog shit that are on here.
Who left the Jets and decided to actually play worth something. You know what I mean? All right. So Greg Van Roten, remember, he is the one responsible for Mekhi Becton's career going into the dumper. Largely responsible. Becton had a healthy year, and then Van Roten got beat, got rolled up on Becton. Becton was never the same again. I think we could still do a little bit worse than him, but to me, I think this is an 8 or a 9. Nick, what do you think?
Oh, I can't put him in an 8. No way.
Yeah.
It's 9 or 10. Like I see 9 coming out in the chat. I'll go with 9.
9 works for me.
Because I know how much other shit is here.
Yeah. Nick, I think when Yeti said Michael Carter, he meant Michael Carter, the running back. But Michael Carter is not on the wheel anyway, so big deal. All right. Yeah, I think we got pretty much a straight 9, guys. Yeah, no debate here. Greg Van Roten will be our number 9 player. That was easy. Okay, spin number 5. So far we got at 1, Joe Namath, 2, Darrelle Revis, 6, Nick Folk, number 9, Greg Van Roten. It's time for spin number 5, and I think we got to have another controversial Jet. I'm going to say Richard Todd will be our next pick. Nick, what say you?
Don Maynard.
Don Maynard. Love it.
Let's get some big names here.
Yeah, Maynard. I'd almost forgot.
I will say this. Late Night with Dane. The Late Show featuring Dano. And you guys get a chance, go subscribe to his channel. He just launched this weekend. I was waiting for you to hop on with me on my channel tonight, sir, so I could promote it, but you didn't take the opportunity. He's persuaded me in the chat with big name after big name. So let's go Don Maynard.
All right. And by the way, if you were to put another Jet above Darrelle Revis, I would absolutely put Don Maynard above Darrelle Revis. I would do it.
Yeah?
Yep. Retired as the all-time leading receiver in the NFL when he left. That's what else do I need to say? That's how good he was. Yeah. Pretty much a career Jet. He was drafted by the Giants, but man, he was so good.
Interesting.
We just didn't get to see him, but with the production, yeah, you can make that case. He was even better than Revis. All right,
already guessed. Always take a chance to promote your show.
Yeah,
you didn't even have that name in the chat, you dumbass. You had the other one.
Guys, make sure the name that you pick is on the wheel. Well, hey, it's all good either way with me. All right, spin number 5. Let's do it in 3, 2, 1.
Bilal Powell. Oh, wait, I said Don Maynard already.
You said Don Maynard. Well, it was a Super Bowl III champion, and it was Jerry Philbin, excellent pass rusher. Led the Jets in sacks for a couple of seasons. So I don't think a lot of us really got to see Jerry Philbin, but I think he was a good enough player for a period of time where I think I would put him in my top 5. I put him above Nick Folk. I think I would make Jerry Philbin. The big fella says who? Yeah, Super Bowl champion and the best pass rusher that the Jets had at that time for that era.
His cousin hosted Who Wants to Be a Millionaire. His cousin was Regis. Not a lot of people know that.
Nick, you're totally making that up. Anyway.
Oh, I can't believe I made the same joke as Dane.
Jets mess with a $10 super chat. Thank you, my friends. Thanks for spinning the wheel and having Nick on. You are welcome, my friend. Thank you for the contribution. I appreciate it very much.
Glad my presence makes you money. I feel like you're I feel like I'm your
only cooperate and help me. Yeah.
I'm your hoe, you're my pimp. My presence gets you paid.
That's awesome. Easy.
And Dane, your comment, is he better than Regis? I made that comment before I made my joke before I saw your comment. And then Hawk with it too. I love how corny we are. We all made the fucking Revis joke. No, Hawk. It wasn't his dad. It was his cousin.
Jeez. Is that your final answer?
God, does anybody have the internet?
Yeah. No, Marvin Washington is not on the wheel. No, I don't have Marvin Washington on here.
But his great-great-grandfather, George, is.
Oh, boy. Who cannot tell a lie. Anyway, So Jerry Philbin, cousin of Regis.
5. I don't know.
5. I would go 4. Yeah. David D says, I'm not sure about Philbin, host choice. I don't know. Yeah. I'm thinking that 3-4-5 range. I think for me, 4 would work.
Right.
You're saying 5. Either way is fine with me. I guess for the sake of the chat, I would put him at a 4 so we have like 5 open and we can kind of work around it a little bit. So I'm going to make, I know we went a little old school, but I had to put a few Super Bowl Jets on there. I had to put a couple on. All right, 4. That works. All right, we are halfway home, and the numbers we have available are 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10. All right, that's what's free. We've got at 1 Joe Namath, 2 Darrelle Revis, 4 Jerry Philbin, 6 Nick Folk, and 9 Greg Van Roten. All right, so with spin number 6, I'm going to say it's going to be Jamal Adams. Why not? We mentioned him earlier. He's got to make an appearance.
Brian Thomas.
Brian Thomas.
Since his son will be drafted as a Jet tonight.
Yeah. Do you think Brian Thomas and Brian Thomas get together? Are going to be getting together, and who knows? All right. Assist says Richard Todd. David says Corbett. I see Chad Pennington, Corey Davis. 2 different people saying Marcus May. Yeti, you're gonna have to change it. Nathan beat you with Marcus May. He got it in just a little before you did. Buster Screen, Johnny Mitchell. Yeti, I'll give you a second to go ahead and change your player. I want to be fair.
I love that this turns into Romper Room when we get all these names guessing. I see Corbett and Richard Todd and Chad.
I think a lot of people often just look at the left side of the wheel because those names are just easier to read. I'm pretty convinced of it.
Good point.
I'm positive. All right. Joe Klecko as well. Okay. All right, guys, let's spin the wheel. Spin number 6 in 3, 2, 1.
Leon Washington.
And we're coming to a stop on Revis, which means we have to respin the wheel. That spin does not count. Let's respin the wheel. 3.
Even D said Dick hurts.
3, 2, 1, spin.
Leon Washington. No relation to Leon Johnson.
And it's the chosen one himself, Robbie frickin' Anderson. Okay. This is going to be a little bit interesting because he was a bit of a one-trick pony. There were times you loved him, but there were times he just drove you nuts. When there,
like when he had the ball in his hands and he fumbled.
Like the Sam Darnold bomb down the field where he beat the whole Dallas defense. That was really cool. But yeah, there were times I felt he was just had way too much of an ego. But undrafted free agent, he did turn himself into a useful NFL player. Guys, we got picks 3, 5, 7, 8, and 10 available. To me, I'm 8. Somewhere in the 7 to 8 range.
I'm 8.
You're an 8? Okay.
Fumbling fucking ball against the Dolphins to cost us the game because his
yes, he did. Sluggo, thanks for stopping by, buddy. You have a good night. Get some sleep. Get ready for the draft, man. It's going to be a fun Thursday. Adirondack Fly Guy, not a Robbie fan. He wants to put him below Greg Van Roten. I can't go quite that hard. I can't go quite that grade him that hard. But let's see. The 7s and 8s are pretty much even right now. This is gonna be
Mets just broke the tie.
1, 2, 3. I've got 3 8s. I've got 3 7s. I've got a 10 as well.
I'm an 8.
You're an 8 as well. You're an 8. That's what you're saying, Nick. You're an 8.
Yeah.
You're an 8. Nick's an 8. Everybody.
8.5.
By whose standards? All right.
The standard 1 to 100.
All right. 8. All right. 8 works for me. Okay. Robbie Anderson will get spot number 8. All right. There we go. So the numbers we got left: 3, 5, 7, and 10. Okay. 3, 5, 7, and 10. I'm gonna say with this next pick, Mickey Schuler. How about Mickey Schuler? That's where I'm going to go.
Corbett.
Wayne Corbett. Okay. Assist wants Kevin Mawai. All right, Chad, put in your players. Now, David D.
All right. Go ahead. You got it.
All right.
Jeff Cumberland. Jeff Cumberland.
Jeff Cumberland, one of my least favorites of all time. Big fella wants Jay Samaro, Nathan Kohler. We got some guys going for the busts here. Zach Wilson, Vernon Golston, Jay Samaro. All right.
Then I'll take Vinny.
Vinny? Okay, here we go.
Chris type Brett Cumberland. I'll give him Cumberland. I'll take Vinny.
Like it. Okay. All right, here we go. Spin number 7 in 3, 2, 1. Spin. Here we go. It's coming to a stop on Brad Smith. Like our Swiss Army knife. He could throw, he could return, he could receive, and sadly we let him walk out the door.
He could lose a shoe at midfield on Thanksgiving night on a kick return against the Bengals.
Right. Well, to me, 3, 5, 7, and 10. I don't think I could rate him below Nick Folk. I don't think I can.
I got to take my contacts out. Give me a second.
Okay.
My eye is on fire.
Yeah, for me, I'm thinking Brad Smith. I'd probably put him at the 5 range. I don't know if I could put him above Jerry Philbin. Brad Smith was here for
right?
What?
7's available?
Yeah.
Yeah.
You put him below Nick Folk?
Yeah.
You put him below? Okay. All right. I think I'd probably go with I could go either way with the 5 or the 7. I'd be cool with it either way, guys. All right. Right now, the 5's definitely in the okay. Oh, okay. Hawk changing from 5 to a 7. All right. Yeah. This one's close. This one's very, very close. I think either way, 5, 7, I wouldn't be too upset with it. You just hope you get the right players around it. Brad Smith was a fan favorite. Got to go low as possible. Yeti, we got number 3 available. I don't think we could go 3. I think that's a little bit too much. Brad Smith was a popular player. He was a good player, but he had his role. He could do a lot of things, but you didn't want to overexpose him. I think that's the best way to
He knew his role and he shut
his mouth, jabroni. Yeti asks is 5 the lowest. So Yeti spots 3, 5, 7, and 10 are available. Just to recap, we got 1 Joe Namath, 2 Darrelle Revis, 4 Jerry Philbin, 6 Nick Folk, 8 Robbie Anderson, and 9 Greg Van Roten. Okay, so pick 3, 5, 7, and 10 are available. The 7s and 5s, it's going to be 5 or 7 for sure. I think the 5s are pulling ahead a little bit, though. But it's close.
Brad Smith is a 5?
Man.
Wow.
I mean, can you say definitively Brad Smith, Nick Folk, which one was a better Jet? I feel like you could make an argument either way. It's hard to compare a kicker to what Brad Smith was. It's tough. Yeah, this is tricky.
Go 7 because he was basically a returner and a wide receiver.
All right. I'm going to go Brad Smith 7. All right.
That's just my take.
Yeah, we got a few 7s here too. Guys, that was a tough one. That was a tough one, but we're going to put him at 7. I still think we got a good list so far. Now, usually by about pick 8 or pick 9 is where we start to have issues. But what we have left is pick 3, pick 5, and pick 10. So we got a nice range here. Now, for our next player, I'm going to say we're starting to get some nondescript guys here. Some guys who are like, okay. I feel like I'm going to go with Mark Sanchez. How about Mark Sanchez?
JoJo Townsell.
Townsell.
We need a solid 10.
All right, guys, let's see your picks. I see Tebow. I see Richie Anderson. Okay. Very good. Give you guys another minute. Guys, 3 solid hours been on the air. Thank you guys for hanging out tonight. Hawk says John Hall. Hey, Hawk, how you doing? Hey. Keyshawn Johnson. Nathan says Santorini Holmes. I guess that was the Italian cousin or something. There you go. Sean Green. Okay. All right, guys, I think that's good. Spin number 8, and it's coming up in 3, 2, 1. And it's going to come to a stop on, oh boy, if ever there was a number 10 that we've spun tonight, it is Jay Samaro. Had Had a couple of good games. He actually did catch a few passes, but compared to what we expected from him, one of the biggest disappointments, just one of many second round disappointments that we had. A lot of drops, a lot of injuries. It's a shame it failed as much as it failed. Nick,
Indeed.
do I even need to ask you?
No, I will say this about him. I really wanted that kid coming out of Texas Tech. I thought he was going to be phenomenal. He caught everything in college. Everything. He was the guy that I wanted. I remember jumping up out of bed and going nuts when we took him in the second round. And I personally have never been more disappointed in a player
Wow.
that the Jets have drafted than Jason Morrow. He had
Wow.
38 catches, 3 touchdowns as a rookie, was on Kansas City second year, and was out of the league. And never heard from again.
Yep.
I have never been more disappointed in a Jets draft pick because I was so high on him, and that was the guy that I wanted in round 2. Mims is another one. Those are the guys that I targeted for the Jets that day, and we got the guys that I wanted. So I'm very happy we don't have anyone in the second round this year as of now. And if we do, I will not say I want anybody.
Oh
Yeah,
boy.
Chris, Texas
And
Tech.
I think Amaro was with the Titans for a little bit too. I'm pretty sure.
Was
I
it year
think
2 with the Titans? I just pulled the stats the
yeah,
other day. Maybe it was just the Titans.
yeah, he was a Titan.
Okay.
I definitely remember him in Tennessee. I really do. Yeah, I think the player that I felt that way about was Stephen Hill. That was the one that I got really wrong. Unless
Why
he was
did
playing
we
Buffalo.
have?
Yeah, I had a good. Yeah,
He
I don't
may
know if it was Stephen Hill doing the Jets chant when he got on stage. Maybe that was it for me. I don't know, but had the size, had the
he went to
personality.
Kansas City for year 3, but never made the team. So,
Okay.
ESPN has his photo as most recently with Kansas City.
All right. Okay. All right. Well,
Yeah.
Jason Morrow is our 10, as if there was any question. So we got 2 spins left, guys. We've got to fill spot 3 and spot 5. All right. I think we're doing pretty well so far. So we need good, solid Jets here. What we need is better than Nick Folk and Brad Smith. That's essentially what we're looking for.
Vlad Duclos.
Vlad Duclos. Spin number 9 is when things usually start to go to hell. I'm going to say Johnny Mitchell.
Ooh.
Yep, Joni Mitchell. Help me, I think I'm falling.
Oh, Ja'Kai Polite is on the wheel?
I don't think so. I don't recall Ja'Kai ever typing the name Ja'Kai Polite. Yeah, I'm looking around the wheel. I don't think Polite's on here, but he didn't even play for the Jets. I know Hackenberg is on here too, but still. All right. Brandon Moore, Wesley Walker, Wayne Corbett, Dwayne Robertson. Oh my God.
Carcass Molman.
Carcass Molman. Yeah, here's something else, dude. All right. Here we go. Spin number 9. In 3, 2, 1. And we're coming to a stop on, oh boy. Oh, Nick Mangold. All right. I'll tell you what. You got Namath at 1, Revis at 2. If you're going to give me Mangold at 3, I mean, I can't put him below Jerry Philbin. I mean, Nick Mangold to me is the obvious number 3 here, right?
I don't think it's more obvious than Amaro at 10.
Most certainly. But could you live with this order, guys, at Namath, Revis, Mangold as your 1, 2, 3?
Yeah, we nailed that part of it.
Make the case? I think we probably could as well. All right.
It's unanimous.
Yeah. All right. So, guys, I'll tell you what. Yeah, guys, I think we got that one down. So, all we have left, let's recap the list because I think we're doing pretty dang well. Number 1,
just wait. Why'd you put your foot in your mouth? Why did you say that? You know that now
I don't have that kind of power.
I'm going with Le'Veon Bell for the 10th one because now you've jinxed it and it's going to be somebody awful.
I'm gonna say we get Marty Lyons and we kill it even more. That's what I think is going to happen.
All right.
All right.
With the
So just
recap.
to recap, chat, here's what we got. 1, Joe Namath. 2, Darrell Revis. 3, Nick Mangold. 4, Jerry Philbin. 5 is coming. 6, Nick Folk. 7, Brad Smith. 8, Robbie Anderson. 9, Greg Van Roden. 10, Jay Samaro. Could you get a wider spectrum than this? You have elite and you have crap. Oh my God.
You know what? I think the wheel has been good. I think I think if you gave us this list,
Yeah.
we would rank them in this order. I don't think anyone's out of order yet.
Yeah.
So I'm going to take someone that should legitimately be a 5 on this list, and I'm going to go with Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. I
I
think
think
that'd be a good
Marvin
spot
Jones
for
would
him.
be a clear-cut 5.
Jones, Philbin. Yeah, if you rank them 4 or 5, either way, I'd be okay with it. I'm going to say, I'm going to change mine to Ray Mickens. I think he would fit very well there. Ray Mickens. Yeah. All right. I see Sanchez, Crabette, Abraham, David D with Knoble from college.
And just a reminder to everyone.
That's so funny still. Yeah.
Just a reminder to everyone, if you get this pick, it's the worst pick to get right because you lose your privilege. You get bragging rights, basically, just at this point. That's all.
Yeah. Maybe I'll give you a pick on the next wheel. I don't. Maybe I'll do that. Yeah. Maybe that's what I should do. I don't know. But all right. Sean Ellis, Decker, Marshall, Cromartie. Man, you guys are throwing them in tonight. Love it. Love it. Oh, wow. The Kings beat the Oilers. Okay. All right, here we go. So I said, I'm sorry, Nick. Who did you say again?
Marvin Jones.
Marvin Jones. Okay, and I said Ray Mickens. Okay, guys, it's been one heck of a night on this 2024 NFL Draft Eve. We've broken down prospects. We've broken down positions. We talked about the number 10 pick, and we've done a mock draft. And now, this is the moment where the night culminates. It is spin number 10. Here we go. 3, 2, 1.
Sean Green.
Oh,
Vinny.
Vinny.
Again,
Wow.
I think that's a good 5.
I think so.
I think that's a good 5, right? Who's 6?
Good,
Falk and Brad Smith are 6 and 7?
Falk and Brad Smith are 6 and 7. Jerry Philbin's number 4. You know what? I'm with it.
This might be the most perfectly ranked wheel that we've ever done.
You know what? I can't disagree with it. I'm going to stop sharing. Let's pull this back up.
Yeah, I think that is the most accurate assessment of 1 to 10. That if you would have gave us that list of 10 before it, I think this is how it would rank.
Yeah, I think maybe Vinny and Jerry Philbin, but I think that's just because people didn't really see Philbin play. Obviously, I didn't either. But we think about Vinny 98 the high, but remember he still had some years after that with the Jets that weren't quite so good. With Herman being around and stuff like that. So it's not as if he blew his Achilles and he never played for the Jets again. That's
Don't forget, he was the quarterback in 2000 that started off poor, and Chad came in and it was 2-4.
Yeah. So we loved Vinny like when he was on, but yeah, unfortunately that injury really, really derailed him. Who knows what would have happened? So yeah, guys, I got to tell you, with this list, it went about as well as it could have gone. So what else can we say? I think we need to say.
Hey, Dicker. Did anyone see the movie? Have you seen Ricky Stinicky yet with John Cena on Amazon Prime?
No, I have not seen it. I can't see it.
It's great. And there's someone who celebrates and they go like this. They're like, oh no, he's an air dicker. And they're like, what do you mean? It's like, well, he looks like he's got 2 dicks in the air. But it's a very funny movie. I highly recommend it. Anyone who has Amazon Prime and wants to laugh, watch Ricky Stinicky.
All right. I don't have Amazon Prime, so okay, but I'll definitely keep that in mind. Yeah, where I'm actually moving to, I got to have the only cable I could have is DirecTV. That's all we have access to. So I don't have Spectrum, which is like the main cable down there. I got to go DirecTV. What
about internet?
Yeah, I could do the streaming and all that kind of stuff if I could make sense out of all of it. But
what's your internet if you have to do DirecTV, which is wild to me.
I don't remember. Here's the thing. My apartment is actually already wired with internet. It's already got it. I don't remember the provider, but I don't have to. But the internet's like already included, like $60 a month. So that's already part of my utilities. So which is pretty good. So yep. Oh man. Well, I'll tell you what, man. I will see you Friday morning.
Yeah, we'll text. We'll talk tomorrow.
My days are like so off right now. It's just so weird. I can't believe that today is my last day at work. This is going to be a heck of a couple of days, couple of
And
weeks.
for one special New York Jet, his first day of work. See how we tie it all together? That was pretty.
At the end of the day, it all comes full circle. Knobcraft, non-direct TV fan. Yeah, I had him before. As soon as we get the first raindrop, I know the freaking signal's going out. I know it's happening. So, but we'll see what the deal winds up as. I don't have to make a choice yet. I'm not going to be living in that apartment for a couple of weeks anyway. So I got time to make my decision. Chris is calling. There's still some stuff I got to figure out. There's definitely some things we got to do. Whether it's call-ins, layouts, different stuff like that. But if you guys have any suggestions on how to make the show better, definitely you can email me. It's there in the information on the channel. You can always reach out. I'm more than welcome to take whatever feedback you have. And I appreciate everybody watching, everybody supporting. So, Nick, go ahead and plug your stuff. Go ahead, man.
Go ahead, hit David's super chat first.
Yep, will do. Just saw it. Yep. David D, thank you very much. I appreciate it. I definitely appreciate that, man. 6 years is a long stinking time. It was a good run. Got no ill will. When I get in the car, I may play Take This Job and Shove It. I don't know, but I might.
Nice.
Yeah, we'll see what happens. Jets messes with the wheel again.
I heard that you were going to call out, and we were just going to stream right up to the draft. Let's take out Good Morning Football. I'm going to.
I'm getting close to my limit for the month on streaming hours. I think I got about 3 hours left where I can stream live. So I got. I'm getting close unless I upgrade the package. I was going to say, but I knew that was a poor choice of words immediately.
I thought it was great. I mean, there's not many people that wouldn't take an upgrade.
Exactly.
I tried to put
the $5.99 a month. Why wouldn't you?
I tried to put the StreamYard chat link into the chat, but since I don't have the permissions, it wouldn't post.
Oh.
Well, all right. Good night, everybody. Thanks for watching my show. Thanks for watching Adam. Proud NYJ fan on YouTube. If you haven't followed already, please do. I will be on with Gunny tomorrow night at NYJ Situation Report. And then Friday morning, 10 o'clock, Adam and I will be on, and we will do a round 2 and 3 mock and go over the Jets' first round selection, which I'm sure each and every one of you will agree with. And it'll be a very copacetic Thursday night and Friday morning.
Can't wait to get a new edge rusher tomorrow night. I can't wait.
That's it, man. I can't wait to get another defensive lineman.
Yes. All right, Nick, thanks so much. And everybody, I will say this. Thank you again for hanging out with us for over 3 hours tonight. What a show it's been. It's been a heck of a lot of fun. And even though some life things are changing, the Wednesday night show, it's staying here. Who knows what the background is going to look like, but the same content's going to be coming. So everybody, thank you again. And I'll see you right back here with more content from you know where. The Wicker Chair. Have a good night, everybody.